Time to set the stage with the lights off. Let the little nigga breathe till the fight's lost. You ain't never like the room with the bright sauce. Hail Mary, they despise what the light brought. Let them roach niggas bleed if they can't see. sa.neter TV, what you can't be. They say that murder on my mind, now they can't breathe. Take a picture of the crew, that's your last peep. Oh, I need me your love, yeah, that's just me. Keep them jumping like some frogs, so they might be leave with the sunset. And they don't really wanna bleed from the gunplay. And like mine, niggas smoking weed on the one-way street, nigga. Yeah, we see we outside with it. Pull up to debates like we might be with it on guard. Side these niggas like bullshit and they fraud. Let me chop them down with the sword. Walk them down like they live bars. This the toughest you gon' be in, we too hard. And you don't really want that smoke, my G. With sa.neter TV, this the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in, toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Keep that off your lip before you get flipped. We got sources over here, we don't just spit. Too many bosses over here, y'all just legit. Put them niggas in the game, let them get real. Don't even step unless you come in with that scholarship. That economic tip, gotta make a dollar flip. And I might be next, I don't give a damn, a truth rolling with me, so I'm feeling like the son of man. Too many gon' hate, gotta make a stand. I'm just trying to duck the lake, you don't understand. Read them when I greet them, that's my best plan. Head first shit, I'm just saying. Nigga meet me in LA, oh you just playing. Too many be fake what the base saying. So I tell them they don't want no smoke before they end up in the newspaper next day. Smoke. This the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. And this is it right here. The toughest you gon' ever be in. You wasn't conscious before us. Y'all niggas was asleep. We woke the sleeping giant. We did it. sa.neter TV. So stay your ass in your little bitty box where you feel safe. Cause it's motherfucking monsters over here. Real monsters.
Peace and Pan-Africanism to Brother Herman Smalls in the toughest environment you can be in.
Philip, you funny. I can't remember even laughing as much as I did yesterday. Listening to Unc and Jabari HOK, toughest environment with educational and entertainment. That's what's up, brother. But this is what's up as well. I've been watching other platforms. Ain't nobody put in as much as work as your brother sa.neter. And I'm not here begging nobody. You just know that this is my business. This is what I do. I'm not coming up here to just to play with you guys. You know I got a family. You know I come up here to spend my time with you and bring y'all information. I could be doing it every day, but the love is not there every day. What the hell is $5 donation going to do? What is that? Support the channel, fam. Donate $5 to the Cash App. Donate $5 to the Super Chat. And if you got more than that to donate, then hell, donate 10, donate 20, donate 50, donate 100. But the thing and the goal is to donate. That's the problem, to donate. I haven't been asking y'all lately because, yo, I haven't been getting nothing, right? But I don't come up here just for fun. I spend time with y'all. And I'm letting you know, I can always come up here with stuff every day. I'm trying to do that. I could bring a lot of good information every day. But the key thing is support the goddamn channel, family. I go on these other platforms and people raking in. And I'm looking at it like, yo, who the hell is sa.neter? Who am I? These dudes are just coming in. And I'm not hating on nobody. They deserve that. I'm not hating on nobody else's channel. But I'm saying support the HOK as well. Show love here. Okay, Bryant deserved to get the fuck up out of here. You see what I'm saying? He got to go. When we get brothers like him, he got to go. Bryant Wallace got to go. This is a brother that will not support. He think I'm begging for money. This is a job for me, Negro. Understand that. So I have to block you from my channel because I see where your mind is at. Okay, so let me block this creep because he's a sucker. Let me block this sucker. Blocked. There it is. Hitting. He don't deserve to get up here. Negroes like him deserve to be left out because I see where his mindset is at. Mods must not be here. Yeah, I know, right? Where the mods at? Got you, solid man. Shout out to Philip. Always showing love. Always supporting. So you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the people who I don't see in there. You know? Who I don't see showing the love. But I'm trying to bring y'all this information, and I could bring y'all a lot more, but sometimes these speakers, they want to get paid. I don't care if they get $200. When you see Shaka Up Most over here, you best believe I gave him $200 out my pocket. I'm not lying, y'all. And some of y'all came and gave support for Shaka, so I ain't gonna say I did it all. I ain't do it all. Like I get support from the mods sometime, but $5 a day from y'all, I could easily, because people was telling me, yo, you need to make your channel a paid channel. $3 a day, $5 to come on just to be in the goddamn chat. I said, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let them go ahead and give it on their own. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the $20 donation. House of Conscience bring info the world needs. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm waiting on my brother Unc to get up in here. If y'all really want this stuff, man, this smoke and all that, start showing love, man. Otherwise, I go back into hibernation. Y'all know I don't be going live a lot. But, man, if it make it worth my while, I will call up the top players. Tell me who you want. I will call them up. I will call them up. Why you think I ain't get Charleston White? Charleston White want money. Charleston White want money. And y'all not willing to pay for it. So why do I got to pay for it out my pocket, but y'all going to reap the benefits of it? You know the nigga funny. You know he funny. Right? So without any further ado, I bring to you a young master up in the building. A young master that breaks down evolution the best that I have ever seen. Who am I talking about, y'all? Who am I talking about? Talking about the God Killer. That's what I'm talking about. And I want to know why I don't see him. I see you, Unc, but why y'all don't see you on the screen? I must got something blocking it.
Yeah, you got your thing. You gotta move your look over there in your whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
You just got yourself on the thing.
I know.
Because you arrogant. Take yourself.
Nah, man.
The other button, hit the other button, yo. Nope, that ain't it. Nope. I'm gonna go to it. Nope. 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 There you go.
All I did was took you out and put you back up. But anyway, brother, what's going on, man? Enql is coming through, and I see a lot of people is giving him love. They supporting him. They saying that he cracks you and Jabari head, man. Is the people ignorant, brother, when it comes to this information?
So when I use the definition of ignorance, I'm simply meaning not to know.
Right, that's what it means.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not throwing it as a slur.
But that's exactly what it means. So we all know what it means. Go ahead.
So I never called Enql out. He's a flim-flammer. What happened was I mentioned his name in talking about pseudoscience and how he presents pseudoscientific information. And, you know, our interactions have been volatile. And it's because the pseudo never wants you to put out proper information because their very existence relies on the ignorance of the audience and misinformation. So he used that to get himself back in the fold, and Ngozi Ben beat him down. You know, I would propose let him debate Ngozi. Okay, big up to Ngozi Ngozi. All right, it's my right hand man all day, every day. He's been running from Ngozi for years. You know it, so and I know it. I think it's time to go ahead and make that happen. But for this particular show, we said ignorance of how science works causes pseudoscience and pseudo-isms, okay? And Dr. Enql's misinformation. So he's relying on your ignorance. So I want to kind of explain what went on yesterday. And big up to Jabari, he did a magnificent job. And, you know, we go back and forth at times because I feel like he uses pseudo tactics, okay? And I'm going to bring out the number one pseudo tactic in the community. Okay, the number one pseudo tactic in the community is no one will allow you to say, I don't know. But that's actually a high quality in science and a high quality in intellectual conversations. But in the conscious community, it's a death sentence. In the conscious community, it makes people will make you seem you don't know what the hell you're talking about when you say, I don't know. So science is counterintuitive. So I want to start off with I don't know, because that was my answer to a couple of the questions. And we're going to get into with sources how Enql does it again. Misinformation. Okay. And it's a new Wapian tactic to ask you all types of questions because the layman audience does not recognize that saying I don't know is the best thing you can do instead of making up stuff. The pseudo will fill in the gaps with untested and unproven pseudoisms. They will mess up the terminology. They will say it crystal clearly. They will sound high level in intelligence, but the idea they're trying to represent will be totally wrong. This is exactly what he did when we talked about Pangenesis. Now, he didn't give you any sources. He gave you a fake AI overview, and I'm never calling AI fake. I'm saying he never showed you the whole thing, the whole rendering of it. And so we're going to get into this thing right here, and I'm going to get my damn lick back. And in the process, I'm just going to teach. Now, I'm not needing people to agree with me in the audience. What I'm needing is for you to take a step back and remember those moments when you was Christians, right? Following Jesus Christ. Y'all remember those moments? And you took a step back and you looked at everything, you realized that, man, I might have kind of got that wrong. And you shifted yourself to the cosmic God, and then some of us shifted ourselves to just, we're not going to believe that shit. Okay? So take yourself back to that moment and realize the world we live in is vast. The cosmos is vast and unlimited, right? And there are going to be things you're not going to know and understand. Just understand this. We are a marginalized community. And being in a marginalized community, right, our emphasis should be on education. But since we seem to fight education, we think we're going to destroy or we're going to defeat the white man's science and the white man's education. I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, people far smarter than us have taken the educational system and rose to great heights. So let me get this in here. Let me make this point. I want to start off with this. Okay? All right. Share my screen. What is this, man? Hold on 1 second, so I got to get this one. Hold
All right, all right. Yeah. Let the brother go ahead and handle his business. Let the brother handle his business. And the viewers that's in the chat, that's doing all the chatting and all that, the chatty patty stuff, y'all should be donating right now. Donating something. Support the channel, man. Support the goddamn channel. I got to keep on telling y'all because it make it look like sa.neter is just begging y'all. No, I'm not begging you. This is my job. This is what I do. This is my business. You know? Support the channel. That's all I'm saying. Support the goddamn channel. Everybody always want free information. I'm the only one that been giving it up to y'all for free for years. So show some love. Here's the link. Drop the link, sa.neter. Why you ain't drop the link? Drop the link because we can see who supports and who don't. While we waiting on Unc, there's the link right there in the chat, man. The link is in the chat. Paris, thank you.
Right, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. So, sa.neter, we're not going to actually worry about, we're not going to trip with the chatties and the patty because they're working through a level of ignorance. Science is counterintuitive. So normally when a person say, I don't know, specifically in the conscious community, oh my goodness, you know, this is my work day. I got my own business. Hold on one second.
Yeah, come on. All right, I only got 3 people so far that donated. I know y'all take it as a joke. I know y'all probably taking me as a joke. And it's going to be some changes. And believe me, y'all forced me to make changes. You just forced me to do it. So you ain't giving me a goddamn thing anyway. I'm not making a dime off you anyway. So what's the problem? I could make the changes. But anyway, go ahead, my brother Unc.
So
Man,
let me go
on. Be very careful. Make sure
no.
you cross your T's.
No, bro, listen to me.
No, I'm just saying, be careful.
Nah, we good. Listen, man. Hey, we good over here, bro. We don't got to do none of that. We're going to be better than what he ever could be. So I like this comment in here, right? Put that up there about Augustine III. Let's read that. I'm going to start the lecture off with this. He said, Enql said yesterday, the Darwin theory of natural selection is based upon Pangenesis. Can you ask to Google, is the theory of natural selection based off Pangenesis and see what it says? I like that. And of course it's not. And we know it's not because it's a valuable theory right now today. So if it was hinging on Pangenesis, right, then it would have got discredited. But that's the mistake that this man does willfully and on purpose, right? So we'll definitely Google Pangenesis. Another thing, like Enql even said, we have handheld computers. So don't think it's a bad thing because a person looks it up. We should be able to look up anything that anybody says. Not to do so will keep you in ignorance. Then after we start looking up things, we need to figure out what are qualified sources. This is what we do. Big up to the pseudo killers and big up to the community skeptics. Make sure y'all like and subscribe over there. Make sure y'all like and subscribe Black News 102 and sa.neter Studios. But never allow a person to make you ashamed of 1, not knowing something, and 2, looking it up. This is the cusp of being intelligent, and this is the cusp of learning. When you're in a classroom setting, the teacher allows you to look things up. Only in the pseudo community is this a badge of foolery if you look something up. So we got the rules all wrong around here. We got the rules super crazy. So I'm going to fix this, right? And you may not understand when I say, I don't know, but let's see what science has to say about it. First of all, let's do this. Okay. Share my screen. All right. And let's make this point. Let's get it funky up in here. All right. Good. You can take that down. So I don't want that comment to block the screen, but I'm going to definitely look that up for you. Look that up for you, and I appreciate that. Okay, so here we go. All right. Put up the screen, sa.neter. All right, so let's play it. Let's see.
at high levels. I just ended my point.
Okay, go ahead, Enql. Respond.
Okay, so quick question. To clarify your point, right? So that I understand your point and the audience understands your point. Are you saying that Charles Darwin's theory of pangenesis has nothing to do with Charles Darwin's theory of evolution? Unc.
Can you explain to me what pangenesis is, Enql, please, sir? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. Please explain that. And then I could answer your question because I don't know what you're talking about. At all. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Where the videos at? Hold up, Si. Where the laughing emojis in the videos
hey,
at?
bro, just explain it. You don't have to. Just explain it. I'm forthcoming. If I don't know and understand something, I'm simply going to say it. So explain to us what that is. What sources can we use to understand what you're talking about? Pangenesis. Explain that, please, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please allow me to speak without interruption.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Okay. So, Sa, early on in this conversation, you told me that this was not my lane.
I'll stand on that.
Okay. And you told me this was Unc's lane.
I'll stand on that.
Okay. When I pulled up what the pangenesis theory is, right? It clearly said that that was Charles Darwin's theory. Did you say?
Brother, hold on. Question. Just explain.
Wait a minute. Stop. I get to say whatever I want to say. I'm grown.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Now I'm asking you to bear witness that I put up on the screen from the AI Google search, right?
Yes.
That pangenesis theory is Charles Darwin's theory. Did you see that?
I bear witness that you put up an AI.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Jabari, this is why you wanted me to deal with Jabari. You gotta relax. You gotta relax.
Around the corner, bro.
Listen, no. You gotta relax. You gotta let it go.
Don't let me know Unc killed you with just one question, bro.
Oh my God. God, you gotta relax. You don't behave like this with nobody else.
Go ahead, because I see what you're doing, man. And
you see what I'm doing. You see what I'm doing.
To the people, what you're gonna do, and you're doing exactly what he said you're gonna do.
Of course, I'm gonna ask questions. He's scared of me asking questions, so he tried to create a safety blanket where I don't get to ask him any questions. Now, what the people are going to see, is that Unc is not as familiar with Charles Darwin's theory of evolution as you may think and as he may have led everybody else.
Did you hear his question to you?
Oh, stop. You have to relax. I'm not going to modify what I'm saying. If I got to wait for people to talk in order for me to talk again, I'm going to say what I wanted to say.
I ain't going to cut you off.
Along with my response, I'll address the question. But you can't curtail what I'm saying on my video, on my platform. What are we doing?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Let me start again from the top.
Go ahead. I put him on mute. I put that cough on mute.
Yeah. Listen, he might need to get some of this.
Okay, so we clearly see how he played this game, right? And first of all, he explained it all wrong. With this, I really appreciate Enql. You know what he does for you? He will say something that is actual, and then he will pseudorize it. So pangenesis is part of some of Charles Darwin's work. It absolutely is. But if I was to tell you, like Copernicus, those who study understand who Copernicus is. He actually came up with the heliocentric model. He was basically saying that the planets orbit around the sun, not the other way around. Okay? But if I was to say to you, or what did Copernicus get wrong? Most of y'all wouldn't know it. So what did he get wrong? He died with messing up the orbits of the damn planets. He just didn't get it. He didn't know. But nobody, and absolutely nobody, continues to say that. Because why? It's discarded as bad and wrong information. It is not brought forward. So the question is today, why would Enql bring a discarded idea by a credible scientist forward? He does it so he can misuse it to distract your understanding of evolution, which is a scientific theory. And oh, by the way, he does not understand what a scientific theory is. Most people that fight with me don't know what the hell a scientific theory is. This is the crux of the conversation. If you don't know what a scientific theory is, if you don't know what a scientific hypothesis is, if you don't know what a scientific fact is, if you don't know what a scientific law is, you will mess up everything after that. And this man has clearly shown that he doesn't know what any of those things do. So once again, Copernicus showed the world the heliocentric model. Prior to that, people thought the sun orbited around the planets because humans are human-centric and we think the whole world revolves around us. But through his research into empirical data, he verified and proved, right, that the planets actually, according to the sun's orbit, and they orbit around the sun. But he messed up the orbits and the rotations of the planet. He did not know. But just because he did that does not change the heliocentric model. Enql is trying to say that because Charles Darwin, he didn't make a theory of Pangenesis, it was a hypothesis, and Jabari does a great job in explaining this. Just because he purported this hypothesis, scientific hypothesis, right, and couldn't get it past that stage because he just didn't have enough evidence, doesn't mean that discredited the scientific theory of evolution. Now, I'm saying this as plain as I can, and hopefully as y'all play this over and over again, y'all will get what I'm saying. So let me do this. Sa.neter, you were sitting there. Did you understand what I just said? Did that make any sense to you at all? And I know you barely pay attention.
All right, listen real quick. I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be, I'm not going to be biased in any of this. Let me finish. Yesterday, they told me a new one because they felt that I was being biased towards you and Jabari. So I promised Enql that I will fall back and don't ask me no questions. I don't have no friends on this topic, brother. I don't have no friends. You or Enql. Y'all on your own on this.
I'm agree with him because you always be on Jabari's side. Shit, I don't know why I changed that now, nigga. You get the bomb claim, the champ is here, and then you said I was the nigga student. I ain't that nigga student.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. You gotta take that back. I'm not Jabari's student.
I take it back. You're not his student. I'm falling back from all of this. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and do y'all thing.
Listen, it was the pseudos that was claiming you wasn't being fair. That's what pseudos do. Pseudos do as pseudos do, right? They don't understand because they don't understand these things I'm about to push forward right now. So let's get this cracking. So now let's talk about what I don't know to the layman and to the scientists and the experts. This is important right here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. All right. Very, very important. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Man, y'all need to go ahead and jump in the Discord. Pseudos will get beat up in there. But if you're willing to learn and operate under excellence, man, you're definitely welcome to join the Discord. Okay, so go ahead and share my screen, sir. So right here, the role of I don't know in science. Pseudoscience and everyday thinking, a comparative analysis with academic sources, comparative chart, category, view of I don't know. And science acknowledges uncertainty as basis for further inquiry. How important is that? And pseudoscience, this is what Enql and them do, rarely admits uncertainty, claims certainty without evidence. They know every damn thing. They know from the greatest distant star, right? They know everything about evolution, biology. They know everything about damn medicine. They know everything about evolution. They know everything about everything. They know everything about the cosmos. And ain't nothing they never say, I don't know. This is the mark of pseudoscience. The layperson, it represents personal lack of knowledge, not always field wide. So watch this. So just because I don't know as a layman doesn't mean the field does not know. Now remember, in that conversation, he took all of that and ran with it. Let us continue. Rolling knowledge drives hypothesis and research in science. So the hypothesis is basically saying, I don't know. How counterintuitive is that? It drives hypothesis and researches not knowing. Drives research. Wow. Pseudoscience avoids gaps by using unfalsifiable claims. This is exactly what the pseudoscientist does. Say it again. They avoid gaps by using unfalsifiable claim, meaning they always fill in the gaps about everything, all day, everything. This is exactly what Enql does. He knows everything about everything and he fills in all the gaps. But a scientist will use an hypothesis research. The layperson stops at personal ignorance unless explored further, meaning I'm ignorant on that. Let me stop. Let me explore it further. How beneficial is that? How important is it for us as African Americans, Black Americans, whatever the hell you think you are? How important is it in your daily life to say, you know what? I don't know. Attitude towards uncertainty. Science. Honest and transparent and temporary. Pseudoscience. The pseudoscientist rarely admits uncertainty, right? No, my fault. The pseudoscientist conceals and denies gaps in knowledge. They hiding it so you wouldn't know he don't know because he's concealing it and he denies gaps in knowledge. The layperson, neutral, may rely on experts for answers. I've been trying to do this for the last 20 years to get y'all to rely on the experts for the answers. But you know what you do? You throw tomatoes at me and you scoff at the experts. And even when the experts look at you, you do not truly care about wisdom and knowledge because you won't go to the highest level to gain your knowledge. You'll go to people running their mouth, pseudoscientists, because they sound good. They say they words crystal clear and they fake your ass out. My sources, Popper, 1934, Logic and Scientific Discovery. Cohn, The Structure of Scientific Revolutions, University of Chicago Press. Fleming, The Pleasures of Finding Things Out. Nonsense on Stilts, How to Tell Science from Bunk, University of Chicago. You can bring that down.
Remove the slide, you saying?
Yeah, you can remove the slide. This is an important part of what we're doing right here, right? We getting it straight. We letting you know that if a person says they don't know, ain't nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, that's part of the scientific method, not knowing, because you ask a question. And why do you ask a question? Because you don't know. This is important to understand this. Stop doing this in the community, acting like because a particular person don't know that what you're saying is right about what you're talking about. All it means is they don't know. And oh, by the way, he explained it all wrong. So how in the hell would you know about a scientific endeavor that was quote unquote debunked? Nobody actually talks about it, but the pseudoscience trying to debunk Charles Darwin theory of evolution. So I'm going to say this again. Pangenesis absolutely, positively has nothing to do with the debunking of evolution. It just does not. There we go. So let's move on. So we right there with a I don't know. We got that straight, right? Now we want to move on to the next clip. Go ahead, yo. You can take that down and do the next thing.
You gotta remove it. You gotta
Okay. Oh, I got you.
delete it.
I got you. Stop screen share. Okay. All right, let's move on.
Now, get the next one up.
All right, let's go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Y'all see it? This clip is dealing with the title. Remember, I'm gonna source everything up. I just gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources. Now, let's deal with the book title. And I think Jabari did a great job. All right. But once again, the pseudoscientist did all he could not to deal with this. Now, on the origins of the species by means of natural selection, or the preservation of the favored races in the struggle for life. Let's play this.
With white folks kissing your feet and Unc being you know, I ain't gonna say necessarily your right-hand man, but Unc's been around for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just trying to understand, like, how has he made it a point all these years to stick around and teach white supremacy, right? So here's the book, right? This is the actual title of the book. On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection. Now, when people are trying to hide the truth, they just leave it like that. They just say on the origin of species by means of natural selection, or they will paraphrase and just say Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. They leave this whole entire second part out. You see what that say? Or the preservation of fables with white folks kissing your feet.
Hold on, let me move it up.
You see what that say? Or the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life. You heard that?
Mm-hmm.
This is the white supremacist Bible. This is the white supremacist Bible. This is the science that backed any and all justification for what Black folks would experience throughout the rest of, you know, the 1800s going into the 1900s. You know, this is how we get, you know, Francis Cress Welson's famous debate and you know, the bell curve book and all of these things that some of the people that are just getting into, you know, quote unquote consciousness, they might not even be familiar with.
Okay, so he makes two vital mistakes here. The first mistake is that the nigga can't read. He does not comprehend what he's reading. He does not understand the subject matter, no matter what he says. Let me verify this, how he is misrepresenting that title. At a certain point, y'all gotta say, man, he's really misrepresenting that title. Let me stop for a minute and pause that. What I would like to say is there are rules and regulations to dealing with science, and there are rules and regulations that make something pseudoscientific. Now, if we're going to talk about a subject matter that clearly requires science, there are rules and regulations. First thing, a scientific theory has to be a scientific theory. You can't say that's not a scientific theory and then overthrow the whole field of science. That does not make logical sense. You can't make up your own words for, like Nafali did the same thing. Observational science. He made it seem as if it was a whole different type of science. You can't make that up in science. The rules are safely fixed to guide us to get you the answers. Okay? So, what was Charles Darwin trying to say right here? We'll just come to the Wikipedia article. Easy work. Here we go. So right here, this is the book, right? On the origin of the species. Watch this. On the origin of the species, or more commonly, on the origin of the species by way of means of natural selection, or the preservation of the favored races in the struggle for life. Now watch this. It is a work of scientific literature. So if at this point you thinking that you don't trust white people, then get out of the scientific conversation. Because if you don't trust white people, you're definitely listening to the white pseudoscientists. None of them have showed me the high-level black people that they get this misinformation from. They get it from white people. So if I was going to choose between white people, let me choose a smart white people, a white person, and a scientific white person. Why the hell they always give y'all the retarded white people? What's the joke? So watch, it's a work of scientific literature by Charles Darwin that is considered to be the foundation of evolutionary biology. Now we're going to act like evolutionary biology doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. We're surrounded by pathogens. We're the arms race. They're trying to kill us. The pathogens and the virus. And guess what? They evolve. They change. Viruses change rapidly. It takes 10 months to have a damn baby. But viruses, they reproduce quickly. You have to understand this. And the only way you can understand this is through evolutionary biology. It says it was published on the 24th of November, 1859. It says Darwin's book introduced the what? The scientific theory. We're going to play the video when this man said it wasn't a scientific theory. Now, why is he allowed to say that Charles Darwin's work is not a scientific theory? That would not be following the rules. Y'all so far off the goddamn box that your damn brain didn't fill out. Thinking outside the box, right? So he's not allowed to say that the theory of evolution is not a scientific theory because all scientists from around the world, not just the United States, Russia, China, Australia, every part in Africa where they practice science, Native American scientists, Anglo-Saxon scientists, Black scientists, gray scientists, they all understand that Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is a scientific theory. And it says that populations evolve over the course of generations through the process of natural selection. So let's move on. Let's get to the portion where he misconstrues what the title actually was meaning. Let me scroll down here. Let me get you the... By the way, real quick, this is a side thing right here, man. This is in Charles Darwin's book, man. All right. And you see that right there? See them branches right there? That's Charles Darwin work. You will later see things pop up like phylogenetic trees, but it all starts from this particular tree right here. You'll hear me say at times, Luca, universal common ancestor. All right. But that first inference of the phylogenetic tree is right here in Charles Darwin's work. Scientists use that to this day. So let me keep getting here. Let's get to the title. Let's stay on course. With sources. Let me get to the publisher. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Okay. I think we're getting here. Murray as the publisher, choice of the title. So they actually went back and forth of choosing the title. First, Charles Darwin wanted the title, then he didn't want the damn title, right? Okay, so let's see. Let me see if I can get right here. Get right to the point. I believe this is right here. Here we go. Murray's, okay. Hold on, let me see. Murray's persuasion, the title was eventually agreed. With Murray's persuasion, the title was eventually agreed on as On the Origin of the Species, with the title page adding, so they add a title page, by means of natural selection or the preservation of the favored races in the struggle for life. All right, we have a source there. Okay. All right. The works of Charles Darwin, an annotated biographical hand list. Okay, now goes on to say in this extended title, so this is actually the extended title. And elsewhere in the book, Darwin used, look at this, the biological term races interchangeably with varieties. And this is what Jabari was trying to say. Varieties meaning varieties within a species. See, he wasn't talking about races. But if you don't know this, then that man got you. The question is, why would this man get up here and lie like that? When he hits this damn panel, he's going to flim, flam, bam, bam, boom, going to start asking all kind of questions, but he won't deal with a source that clearly says that the biological term races was interchangeable with varieties, meaning varieties within a species. And here's two sources on that. Make this man source up or shut the hell up. Defining Evolution, National Center for Science Education. That's one source in that. The second source is The Idea of Race. Okay? The full title employs the term race only in the broad biological use of the word, which refers to varieties throughout the organic life. However, okay, speculation about the implications of this view specifically for the question of human races began almost as soon as the book was published. Man, specifically for the question of human races began almost as soon as the book was published. Basically, what we're saying is that that book of scientific work and scientific theory wasn't even talking about humans. But if the dude would have bought the book and looked at it, he'd have seen it was pictures of cabbage, flies, insects, trees, birds, bees, everything but humans. Had no pictures of it. This work was not about humans. It was about the varieties, okay, of insects, the other animals, and everything else but humans. But why didn't this man say that? So we see right here, he's never going to answer why he got that title wrong. He's going to say, he won't say, you know what? You're right. See, I can say that, you know what? You're right. But he could never say that. You know why? Because his knowing everything is supposedly his strength that will make you spend your money and get flim, flam, bam, bam, boom. See, this is what's actually going on here. I guarantee you he won't admit this. He will not show you a source that says it don't mean that. He'll show you a wild source by a crazy white person, a religious Christian person now, right? He'll do all that. Let us move on. Where we at now? Move on to the next video. The boy does a great job right here. Now, this is important for us understanding what's really good. We need to be able to understand the scientific terms, because if we're having conversation about science, right, and we're using the term and using the layman understanding of it, then we tripping. Pick up the DMG too. Let me say this one more time. If we misuse scientific terms and give them the label, the layman definition, then everything after that will be crazy. Man, if we supposed to be reading and comprehending what we reading, that man would get up here and say, yo, I got all this wrong. Let me start over again. But he will never do it because he be absolutely scamming your intellectual real estate. And not to mention some other things. Because if we really got to get it cracking, I got everything. So we best to be keeping it scholarly and we best to be keeping it honest and forthcoming. So I'm going to say this again. Jabari did a great job right here. And I'm going to give you the terms and what they mean. Make this man adhere to the damn definitions that I put up here. Don't let him do what he want to do. And that's just filling the gas with tomfoolery. Yeah, we cooking with hot grease today. Get my damn lick back off of the pseudo. We go.
Scientific method is a process that scientists have developed through the process of observation and study. So what they do is they actually have a hypothesis. Then they have a bunch of studies that say, is this hypothesis true or not? That's basically the scientific method. And I want to be clear that the scientific method has corroborated Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. And so that is what those scientists are actually saying.
Okay, now hold on, because I think that you are purposely, avoiding what I'm asking you, because as a professor, I know that you know better, Jabari. There's a word and it begins with the letter E. Let me help you out. There's a word that begins with the letter E. It is a essential part. See, that's how I did that. That's like a bar right there. I gave you another word with a letter E, essential, right? To give you even to double down on. So there's a word that begins with the letter E that actually backs up studies. So it's the part of the thing they're observing. Like what are they writing about in the studies? Because hypothesis and theory are almost synonyms. Hypothesis and theory are not facts. They're not facts. They're not something that's factual, or it wouldn't be called a theory anymore. It'd be called a fact. So what are the things specifically? Like what's this that E word that they use? You know, there's an E word they use to validate hypotheses or theories. I'll help you out. It's called experiments. And so when they did the experiments, and it can't be any more biased. You don't get any more biased than your own flesh and blood. You don't get any more biased than your own flesh and blood. When Charles Darwin's own flesh and blood did the experiments, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, the idea, the philosophy, the theory was debunked, because the actual scientific mechanism he proposed was found to be absolutely 100% incorrect. And I want you to just be honest about that. You done came up here and did all this talking, and you have not one time just said straightforward, you know what, Enql, you're correct. In the 1800s, Francis Galton and other scientists performed experiments on the Pangenesis theory and found it to be incorrect.
Enql is absolutely right about that statement right there, but he's absolutely wrong in the way he's characterizing it and the way he uses it. I'm going to say it again. He's absolutely right. Charles Darwin's blood, second cousin, Galton, him and some other scientists actually tried to apply the scientific method, and they debunked the scientific hypothesis with Pangenesis. They did that. Where the pseudo-isms comes in is that he's acting like Galton and the rest of the scientists debunked evolution. They didn't. Galton never said that. Galton just misrepresented Charles Darwin theory of evolution. And it's funny to me because he will call Charles Darwin a damn racist, right? But yet follow the guy who orchestrated in eugenics, pure racism. Ask that man, then why? Then if you can't use Charles Darwin, right? Nobody actually claims him to be a racist, but Galton is an outright racist. This nigga couldn't read neither. He misrepresented Charles Darwin theory. Crazy work, nasty work on the hearts and the minds of the people. Hey, sa.neter, quick question. Why you block Cedric? Why you blocking the pseudo killers?
I did not block no Cedric, brother. I don't block nobody.
Listen, if you blocking the pseudo killers,
I do not block anybody, brother.
If your moderators,
I don't need my moderators fall back.
Yeah, you gotta unblock them. Yo. I can't
block not block
my people. Then that means y'all don't gotta respect us, but you fucking can't.
Yo, listen, man, calm down, brother. Just calm down.
I'm actually calm. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you have to respect what we saying, but you can't disrespect us. And let me finish saying this. And Cedric and everybody's pseudo killer, learn how to stay your ass in the movie too. All right. Don't inflame people. Use your words. Yeah, I'm saying, to get at people. Yeah, I'm saying there's a lot of ignorance around here. So we're gonna play it right on both sides, bro.
Yeah, they didn't block them. They probably timed them out or something. I don't know. And you got to wait until the time is up.
A year?
Huh?
An hour, 2 hours? Come on, bro.
Nah, brother. No. Ain't nobody did that. Nobody.
Hey, you know what's funny about Enql? Look, and I watched the video. Jabari had Enql frustrated.
Yeah.
You know how Jabari will long when you have to won't let you talk.
I keep telling my people don't block me.
You gotta stop that, yo. So anyway, Enql is talking about, let's get back to the thing at hand. Enql is talking about being honest. Let's see how honest he's gonna be. I'm gonna say this again. Enql is right about Pangenesis, right? Being disqualified by not having actual proof of it. Charles Darwin himself wasn't even certain of his hypothesis, and he said in a few of his writings how he is not quite sure that he's not finding the evidence that he needs to move this thing forward. But it has no connection to the disrupting and the debunking of evolution. But this is what this man came on here to do. He came on here to do that, right? And then I'm not going to forget, he called me a racist. He called me a racist because he's claiming that Charles Darwin was a racist and that I supported racism. So let's see if Charles Darwin's work actually supported racism, or the guy he's using, Galton's work, supported racism. So let us move on. Now we definitely cooking with the hot grease. Here we go. Let's see where we at. I believe this to be it. No, that's not it. Oh, no, sorry. Let me get that off. Hold on one sec.
You don't want that one up?
No, I didn't want that one up. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the right one. Shit. Is it this one? No, that's not it neither. I just did that one, right? All right, let me see. What the hell is this one? Hold on one second. I got it. Okay. I'm going to get this right. All right. Man,
I don't want no mods blocking nobody. I do all the blocking, so no blocking nobody. As long as they're not cursing and cursing nobody out, let them say what they want to say. They could be disagree, but don't block no goddamn body.
No, we good.
On, that fucks up the channel. It messes up the channel.
Yeah, and all my people, man, make sure y'all use a high level intellect to get your ideas across, yo. Be real witty in what you do. Don't get put out the damn movies. Are you sharing my screen?
Yes.
So remember, he said that you were supporting a person that actually supported racists. He said that. Remember that? And
I don't ask no question, man.
Huh? No. I'm saying that that's not a question. You remember when he said you supported me as supporting racism? Come on, bro. What do you, man? You don't never let the chatties in the patty dictate what you're saying, bro. So here you go. So we're gonna actually qualify through real sources, right? If Darwin's work, okay, his works support scientific racism, right? Because there's a difference between Darwin's views and social Darwinist misuse. Remember, Darwinism was created after Darwin was dead. I'm gonna say this again. Darwinism was created after Darwin was dead, and it is the misuse of his scientific theory by people like Galton, who are the true racists. We're going to prove that. Here we go. Darwin versus social Darwinist. Darwin's views: all humans share common ancestry, monogenism. He opposed slavery. Racial differences are superficial. Recognize cultural variation, not biological inferiority. Hierarchical language reflects Victorian content. What is the Victorian language in context? Well, we know how they were speaking in those days. Would you expect them to speak a whole nother language? Now, social Darwinism. Social Darwinist misuse. How did they do it? They claimed races were fundamentally unequal. Had nothing to do with Darwin, but they use his name though. Justified slavery and colonialism as natural. Charles Darwin never did that because he opposed slavery. Matter of fact, he didn't even come to the United States because they had slaves. How about that? applied survival of the fittest to nations and races. Charles Darwin was talking about survival of the fit genes. He never was talking about survival of the fittest, like the strongest will survive. That's not what he meant. Now watch this. Promoted eugenics. So Darwinists promoted eugenics. And who was that? Francis Galton. This is the guy that the pseudoscientist named Enql was talking about Darwin's blood. Francis Galton. Y'all can look it up. He promoted eugenics, but he didn't tell y'all that, did he? No. But he decided to use a real racist, right, who thought slavery was natural and claimed the races was fundamentally unequal. He used that guy. It's a recast cultural hierarchy as biological determinism. Yeah, so once again, Darwin and Darwinists is two separate things. Darwinism was created after the man Charles Darwin was dead. It's the misuse of his scientific theory. Yeah, you know the way Enql do it. But he's never going to get up here and say, yeah, you know what? I messed that up. And yes, Galton was a daggone quote unquote racist. He won't do it though. Key misuses in Darwin's work. Herbert Spencer coined survival of the fittest. See, not Charles Darwin. And applied it to society. Darwin didn't come up with that. Now, used to justify imperialism and exploitation of colonized people. You know the same thing Christianity do to you. It's a tool of the colonizers. Eugenic movement, this is Galton's thing, invention by bad scientific reasoning and misuse. Eugenics movement claimed to improve humanity by what? Man, they was saying, yo, these people are inferior. We're going to eliminate the inferior groups. This is what Enql is supporting. He's supporting Francis Galton, but yet saying that I'm supporting racists. Well, you can't make this up. Misrepresented Darwin's culture and hierarchy as biological racism. So it's the misuse of Charles Darwin work was going on, and Galton is the culprit. Scholarly assessment, Adrian Desmond and James Moore. Darwin's abolitionists emphasized unity in humankind. Stephen Jay Gould, Darwin's undetermined paleogenesis, but carried Victorian racial language. So it's the language he was using that you all up in arms with. I get it. We're going to giggle with that. Modern consensus, Darwin was not a proponent of scientific racism, but his works was misused. Matter of fact, his works is part of the tapestry of things we use to debunk scientific racism. Let's deal with Galton, Francis Galton, and Pangenesis and eugenics. Francis Galton, Darwin's cousin, initially interested in Darwin's theory of pangenesis. Gemellons as hereditary units. You will hear in the next video how, Enql does a great job in explaining that. Tested pangenesis via blood transfusions, experiments in rabbits. So he used blood transfusions and experiments in rabbits. I'm showing you how he debunked pangenesis. It's a Farrier's-led Galton to critique Darwin's idea. What idea? Not the theory of evolution, but the idea of pangenesis. Now, eugenics. Coined the term eugenics in 1883. That's your man Galton. Advocated selective breeding. He was like, yo, breed them niggas out of here. To improve humanity. So he was saying selective breeding. This the man Enql is supporting. Watch this. Misapplied Darwinian variation and selection to human societies. Watch this. This man Galton influenced the 20th century racial hygiene and eugenic policies. So those wild racist policies that we had to get rid of, it was Francis Galton work that did that. And Charles Darwin work actually influenced it in the other direction, right? To bring us together in understanding that no human is smarter than other. That African Americans and African people are not deficient, are not monkeys, and are not less educated based off of the color of their damn skin. But whoa. The guy that Enql is supporting, Francis Galton, did exactly that. Man, that's we're gonna make that man answer the question. I'm not gonna let this man put me on a hot seat again. He gonna have to answer all these questions with sources. So now, the misunderstanding and the misusing of these scientific terms that Enql regularly uses over and over and over again. Scientific method. He just explained how. Hold on, let me play that clip again. I want to play the clip again, right? Scientific method, and watch how he messed it up. All right, like I said, Jabari did a great job of explaining the scientific. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, here it go. Yeah. All right, let me share that. Man, hope y'all taking your time and understanding the conversation today is important to make people source up. Go ahead, share the screen, sa.neter. Share my screen. I know I'm running out of time for you because you be jumpy. I get it. We don't make this too
very clear. The scientific
brother, take your time, man.
That scientists have developed through the process method is a process that scientists have developed through the process of observation and study. So what they do is they actually have a hypothesis. Then they have a bunch of studies that say, is this hypothesis true or not? That's basically the scientific method. And I want to be clear that the scientific method has corroborated Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. And so that is what those scientists are actually saying.
Okay, now hold on.
Now watch how he messed this up, because he does not understand these terms. He doesn't understand what a scientific theory is. He doesn't understand what a scientific hypothesis is, and he doesn't understand the scientific method. And the scientific method does what? It asks the question. It says, I don't know. That's why you ask a question, because you don't know something. And the scientific method starts off with a damn question. I don't know. So what if this, and this occurs, then will we get this, and this, and this? Very interesting here. How the conscious community has taken a simple I don't know and has misturned it and messed it up, when in actuality, your ancestors started with the asking the question of I don't know. And I'm going to prove that today. And if not your ancestors, at least Africans on the continent of Africa. Let me get that super clear.
Because I think that you are purposely, avoiding what I'm asking you, because as a professor, I know that you know better, Jabari. There's a word and it begins with the letter E. Let me help you out. There's a word that begins with the letter E. It is a essential part. See, that's how I did that. That's like a bar right there. I gave you another word with a letter E, essential, right?
I'm going to let you know right now, if you got a hat on your head, that's a funny hat, and it say melanin versus diabetes, you're a damn pseudo. I'm going to say it again. If you got a hat on your head that say melanin versus diabetes, you're actually positively promoting wild pseudo-isms. Man, boy, I tell you.
To give you even to double down on. So there's a word that begins with the letter E that actually backs up studies. So it's the part of the thing they're observing. Like what are they writing about in the studies? Because hypothesis and theory are almost synonyms. Hypothesis and theory are
not true. They're not synonyms. He made that up. They do two different things. One starts off with the question. You know what I'm saying? You ask a question because they do not know. And the other is the organizing of the scientific facts through empirical data repeatedly. Two separate things. How could he get this wrong?
Not facts. They're not facts. They're not something that's
a scientific theory does not have to be a fact because it organizes the scientific facts. He does not understand this. And he's saying it with the wild melanin versus diabetes hat on. This is a red flag, ladies and gentlemen. If you got a melanin versus diabetes hat on and you talking about a scientific theory is not a fact, then you're pseudo. And you shouldn't be teaching what the hell is on the back of that board right there. MCH, melanin, grit, Hiru, shoe, a saw set, nut. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Right behind him.
That's factual, or it wouldn't be called a theory anymore. It'd be called a fact. So
made that up. A scientific theory never becomes a fact. It actually organizes the fact. I'm going to say it again. A scientific theory does not become a fact. A scientific law does not become a scientific theory. A scientific theory does not become a scientific law. He does not understand what he's talking about, but yet he's talking about me and what I don't know. At least I understand the basic understanding of these facts. The basic understanding of a scientific theory. A scientific theory is different from when the layman talks about a theory. It's a different language with different definitions. A law is different from a scientific law. A fact is different from a scientific fact. It's two separate languages, and he's mixing it all up. We will never get it if we do not understand the language the scientist is speaking and the definitions that they're using. He's misapplying mumble jumble pseudoscience.
So what are the things specifically? Like what's this that E word that they use? You know, there's an E word they use to validate hypotheses or theories. I'll help you out. It's called experiments. And so when they did the experiments, and it can't be any more biased. You don't get any more biased than your own.
Now wait a minute. When they did the experiments on Pangenesis, the racist Galton was unable to verify it. Darwin himself had questions about Pangenesis and trying to explain heredity. Now he was definitely familiar with Mendel's, but his work was kind of obscure, so they're not sure if he actually read his work, right? But Darwin was trying to explain the mechanism in heredity, and he just got it wrong. Okay? So what in the hell is this man talking about? Obviously, it was experimentation repeatedly. How do we know? Because it's a scientific theory.
Own flesh and blood. You don't get any more biased than your own flesh and blood. When Charles Darwin's...
He's talking about Galton, his second cousin. Okay?
Own flesh and blood did the experiments. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, the idea, the philosophy, the theory was debunked because the actual scientific mechanism he proposed was found to be absolutely 100% incorrect. And I want you to just be honest about that. You don't care.
Okay, so we're going to see how honest this man is going to be. Now, let's get into these terms real quick. How honest is he going to be? We're going to start off with the scientific method because it's your African ancestors that was part of the putting together of the scientific method. The scientific method is an imperial method of acquiring knowledge that has been referred to while doing science since at least the 17th century. Historically, it was developed through centuries from the ancient and medieval world. Okay, the scientific method involves careful observation coupled with rigorous skepticism, okay, because cognitive assumptions can distort the interpretations of the observation. Let me bring you to something that this community is definitely familiar with. Y'all see it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me move right here. Bam. We want the history of the scientific method now. The history of the scientific method, okay, considers change in the methodology of the scientific inquiry as distinct from the history of science itself. The development of the rules, see, there's rules to it. This man break all the rules. That's why we call him a pseudoscientist. The development of the rules of the scientific reasoning has not been straightforward. Scientific method has been a subject of intense and recurring debate throughout the history of science. And eminent natural philosophers and scientists have argued for primacy of one or another approach in establishing the scientific knowledge. This is something you're absolutely familiar with, ladies and gentlemen. And here y'all see right here, y'all see the Edwin Smith, the ancient Egyptian medical textbook, 1600 BCE, a set of empirical method. So we start to see the early rudimentary understanding of the scientific method comes from Africa. Last time I checked, Egypt is in Africa. Last time I checked, Egypt was formulated by populations in Africa. It was formulated by indigenous river cultural hunter-gatherer people that over time and millennium developed systems of understanding to get to the point of having the Edwin Smith mathematical papyri. So let's read it. There are few explicit discussions of the scientific methodologies in surviving records from the early cultures. The most that can be inferred about the approaches to the undertaking science in this period stems from descriptions of early investigations into nature. In the surviving records, the empirical medical textbook that Edwin Smith papyrus applies the following components: examination, diagnosis, and treatment, and prognosis to the treatment of disease, which displays strong parallels to the basic imperial method of science, and according to G.N.R. Lord, played a significant role in the development of this methodology. The Ebers Papyrus, 1550 BCE, also contains evidence of traditional imperialism. Let me see. I would like to show you something real fast. I moved it. Let me see if I can just get it. Because although we consider books as not being actually the higher standard, it would be like textbooks and journals, right? You should have certain material in your library. Let me see if I can, do I have it? Yes. All right. So got this right here. Y'all can see this right here. I have it. All right. Ancient Wisdom. Here, I got the book. Magic, Reason, and Experience. Studies in the origin and development of Greek science. But in this work, he talks about the indigenous Africans and how they did it. We also had this. Hold on, sa.neter. Put me on the screen so they can see the book. I want them to get it and read it so they can know the difference between goddamn magic, reason, and experience. Goddamn Enql practice magic around this motherfucker. Yes, he does. Here we go. We got the book, right? We also have this book right here. Okay. It's called The Atlas of Human Body. Okay. And if you come to the back of the Atlas of the Human Body, once again, you will find indigenous Africans, right, as used as a reference. The same thing I just showed you. It's right here. And this says right here, it says that Edwin Smith papyrus written in an ancient Egyptian script, 1950, the 1550 BCE is the earliest known medical literature consisting of 48 case histories. It describes the conditions, diagnosis, and treatment in a rational and in a systematic way. Is the beginning of what we would call the damn scientific method that this man does not understand and refuses to use. So you talking about somebody going against black people, that's that man with the pseudoscience. Africans are at the forefront of creating science and science innovation, but not pseudoscience. He's promoting pseudoscience. He's promoting pseudoscientific ideas. Let's move on to the next term. Ooh-wee. Yeah, we cooking them with hot grease. Let's get to the scientific theory. This man don't know what the hell a scientific theory is because he said out of his mouth that Charles Darwin theory of evolution is not a scientific theory. How so, Sway? Show my screen, sir. My screen up, sa.neter. Here we go. You gotta get Well, that's the money right there. My cash app is down, elder. Keep doing your thing, sa.neter. There you go. Come on, there you have it. Here we go. Scientific theory. Now watch this. A scientific theory is an explanation of an aspect of the natural world that can be or that has been repeatedly tested and has corroborating evidence in accordance with the scientific method that the early rudimentary forms of it come from Africa. The people you love, Nile Valley Africans. Using accepted protocols and observations, measurements, and evaluations of results. Where possible, theories are tested under controlled conditions and experiments. In circumstances not amendable to experimental testing, theories are evaluated through the principles of deductive reasoning. Established scientific theories have withstood rigorous scrutiny and embodies scientific knowledge. And this is exactly what the theory of evolution is. So I don't want to hear a person come up with the, hey man, that's not a theory. Wait a minute. All the experts say that Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is the damn theory. So why is he allowed to do that? Now watch this. A scientific theory differs from a scientific fact. Remember he started messing up what a fact was? It said a fact is observation and a theory which organizes and explains multiple observations. Man, I told you he don't know what the hell he was talking about. A theory differs from a scientific law in that a law is an empirical description of a relationship between facts and other laws. For example, Newton's law of gravity is a mathematical equation that can be used to predict the attraction between bodies, but is not a theory to explain how gravity works. So a theory explains the how. Man, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Watch you get up here and start flim-flamming. Definitions of facts, theories, and law in the scientific work. All this is real important for y'all getting to arguing about evolution. And they will all say that Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is not a theory. Science uses specialized terms that have different meanings than everyday usage. I said it, man. These definitions correspond to the way scientists typically use these terms in the context of their work. So you can't start using terms out of context. Note especially that the meaning of theory in science is different than the meaning of theory in everyday conversation. So why he gonna get up here and start doing that? Because he is. What's the fact? In science, an observation that has been repeatedly confirmed and for all practical purposes is accepted as true. Truth in science, however, is never final. See, that's counterintuitive. And what is accepted as fact today may be modified or even discarded. Yeah, I know. See, science, they don't know nothing about no facts. That's why they changed their mind. No, they changed their mind because they got more available information that wasn't available at the time that they came up with it. Hypothesis. We're talking about scientific hypothesis, just like we were talking about scientific facts. A tentative statement about the natural world leading to deductions that can be tested. If the deductions are verified, the hypothesis is provisionally corroborated. That's why Charles Darwin came up with a provisional hypothesis. It's in the deduction, if the deductions are incorrect, see, the original hypothesis is proved false and must be abandoned and modified. So why in the hell would Stinky Inky bring up a abandoned scientific hypothesis? He brings it up because he don't know what the hell a scientific hypothesis is. But he'll get up here and start asking all kinds of questions. He won't answer these things, though. And he's going to hit you with the flim, flam, bam, bam conspiracy. He's going to tell you that, no, it's not a scientific theory. He's going to make all kinds of excuses. He won't say, because he's a pseudo, he won't say, you know what? I just was wrong about the whole thing. He will not do it. You know, like I said, he was right about certain parts. He can't do it because if he do it, it then discredits him as being a damn liar. Hypothesis can be used to build more complex inferences and explanations. Law. Descriptive generalization about how some aspect of nature would behave under stated circumstances. Third, in science, a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world that can be incorporate facts, laws, inferences, and tested hypotheses. Man, boy, we banging. Let me see. I thought I put the facts up here. Let's see. Did I put the facts? Watch this. It's always different, yo. Let's see. Let me see if I can get this for y'all. Real quick, we'll end it with the facts. A fact. Here we go. And we use Encyclopedia Wikipedia because it's very simple and it is an encyclopedia on par with Britannica. I don't care what y'all say, but we start with Wikipedia and we'll end in the scientific journals. A fact is a true datum about one or more aspects of circumstances, but we're not in this particular conversation. We want to know about a scientific fact, right? We don't want to talk about a regular fact. Let's see if we can get to it in science. Let's see. In science, see the difference? In science, the definition of a scientific fact is different from the definition of a fact, as it implies knowledge. A scientific fact is a result of a repeatable, careful observation or measurement by experimentation or other means, also called empirical evidence. These are central to building scientific theory. Various forms of observations and measurements lead to fundamental questions. See that? Questions about the scientific method and the scope and validity of scientific reasoning. Man. In most basic sense, a scientific fact is an objective and verifiable observation in contrast with the hypothesis or a theory, which is intended to explain or interpret the damn facts. My man should spend a week or two getting this down. That's what he needs to, right? So let me get right here. I'm gonna end it right here. I want to kind of move it forward to when he says that Charles Darwin. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let's see. I said this yesterday. Hold on, let me share my screen. We rolling down to the end. I just want to pound them out the world at this point. Pause. See.
Oh, are you cutting me
Keep
off?
going. No, yeah, keep going.
It's Zolly. That's the Zolly.
First, okay, whoever that is. The first thing that Unc did when he came back in after doing his quick little research is he confessed that Pangenesis is incorrect and it was debunked 200 years ago.
See, I said it. No problem. No matter if he's misusing the idea, the flim, flim, blim, blam, boom, you. I still have the ability to say what you said was right, but the way you applied it was wrong. You know why I can do that? Because I practice scientific literacy, which requires you to have accountability and requires you to be honest and forthcoming. That's why I can say it. It's the opposite reason why he can't say it, because he gets his money off of being a pseudoscience scientist.
Grand opening, grand closing. You should have dropped the bomb right after he admitted to what I said all this time. That's what you should have did, because I told you everybody's going to come up here and they're going to argue with me on a whole bunch of different things. But nobody is going to be able to tell you that gemules or gemules is real, that Pangenesis is a fact, or that it was not debunked in the 1800s.
He's right. Nobody can tell you that it wasn't that, because that's exactly what happened, Enql. So why are you playing this vicious game? Nasty work. Of course we can't beat you up on that part right there, because that's a valid point. But the fact that you invalidate your point by saying that it disturbed or some kind of way invalidate the theory of evolution, in some kind of way all preceding work by Charles Darwin is wrong, that's the scam. That's the part right there that invalidates everything he's trying to do. So no, ladies and gentlemen, Pangenesis did not change the theory of evolution. Pangenesis was simply trying to explain the inheritance. Later on, they would explain the inheritance by genes. That's how they explain it. How genes are transferred through sexual selection, through having sex. The chromosomes. Come on, man.
Nobody's going to be able to do that. Not even Unc. Unc just got up here and admitted that what I've been saying this entire time is actual fact.
Yeah, the only part that was actual fact was the Pangenesis. And Galton and them debunked it. That's the actual facts. But the fact that they debunked evolution is a lie and scammery and misunderstanding of the scientific fact and misunderstanding of a scientific theory and misunderstanding of a scientific law and misunderstanding of scientific principles, ideas, and understanding that was first purported amongst ancient Africans in Africa. So you better ask this man, why is he against black people and why is he practicing racism, white supremacy? Because it's racism, white supremacy that put us in a state of disorganization by giving us wild religions that made us go against our own ancestral, deep-rooted shrines back to our primary ancestors.
Are you ready to open up the floodgates?
Anyway,
Hold on.
like I just don't understand what you're doing. Let the other brother speak.
Well, hold on. No. What happened was my phone got disconnected. What you've done for the last hour is mischaracterize what that was and what relevancy it actually had to the topic, which is absolutely none. That's why I didn't hear about it, because it has no relevancy to the theory. Scientists get things wrong all the time. Einstein did it. Scientists die with getting things wrong, but they leave a legacy of things that get right. That's okay. The fact that you overwhooped, because you overwhooping, bro.
Okay.
Nigga, that's why. Now, I can't read. So I can't read. So let's get that out the way. I cannot read. So that's why sa.neter is going to read. Now,
Bring it up. Send it again.
Huh?
All right.
Send it again.
sa.neter, for what? It's in your email.
I don't see it. Nothing came through, brother.
So we get into the scientific theory, right? We get you the part because the nigga always say, I can't read. Now we realize who can't read is him. It's called reading comprehension. Not how you pronounce words or mispronounce words, right? Reading comprehension. He can't comprehend what he reads, because if he did comprehend what the hell he was reading, he wouldn't have called sa.neter the flim flam bam bam boom everybody, because he would comprehend the Pangenesis absolutely has nothing to do with debunking the theory of evolution, because that has not been debunked.
Come on, bro. It's going to knock me off the stream, y'all, bro. Hey, Juju, can you look up a scientific theory on Wikipedia, please?
I was just going to give him the simple explanation.
No, read that. Just read that for me. Is that possible?
You need me to read it?
Yeah, on Wikipedia.
Okay. It might knock me out. I'll try it.
It's going to knock you off, too.
Maybe. Hold on.
sa.neter, is it just sa.neter?
I just type it up, a scientific theory.
On Wikipedia, that's the simplest one. We don't want to get them too complex. That he can't even answer the question.
Are you kidding?
Can you just give him the simple explanation? I'm trying to tell him. Scientific theory is just an explanation or set of organized facts.
You want me to read it? I got it.
She right on point with it. Big up to Juju, Pseudo Killer Official. Big up to all the Pseudo Killers in the server. Big up to all the supporters, man. Big up.
Pulled up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, read it for me. Read it for
Who's
me.
that?
That's Cosmic Chris and I.
Cosmic Chris don't understand what the hell a scientific theory is, neither. It's crazy how they will read it and then deny what it is. Crazy.
My brother Unc know what's up.
What up,
Man,
you
just
say
read,
your
come
screen?
on, man. Just read the.
I'll read it. Let me read it.
On Wikipedia. Since
On
this man
Wikipedia. Look, Wikipedia. A scientific theory is a well-substantiated explanation of some aspects of the natural world based on a body of facts that have been repeatedly confirmed through observation and experiment.
So if Charles Darwin theory is a scientific theory, then what the hell is all the pseudos talking about then? Because that would mean as well substantiated, and it means the facts has been organized around it with empirical data. Then why the hell is they teaching the black community that it's not? Just say I don't understand it. Just say I do not know, and we can move forward. But watch this. I asked him, is Charles Darwin theory a scientific theory? And watch what this man says out of his mouth. No matter how much literature you read, you will never hear a scientist, a credible scientist say that it's not that. You'll hear pseudoscientists say, like Chris is definitely a pseudoscientist. So he'll read the definition and say, that's not the Charles Darwin. Get out of here. It's a bunch of crap, man. And I'm tired of them disorganizing our community with this misinformation.
Woo! Thank you, Chris. So Enql.
Do you hear Enql cheering that? Woo! Thank you, Chris. Watch.
Come on, man.
Order that.
Come on, man.
Right.
Come on, to control this, man. So Enql, do you agree with that, Enql? Yes or no?
You want me to answer the question?
Yes. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Then you can give a long ass explanation. If you want.
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay, so thank you. So now, is Charles Darwin theory of evolution a scientific theory?
No.
Okay, hey, sa.neter, I rest my case. We got him on tape, lying. That's a straight out lie.
Hold on. Now,
hold on. No.
Yeah, ain't no hold on. Go ahead and hit that damn button, yo. Hit that button, yo. Let me beat the brakes off of the pseudos, man. Oh, hold on. Yeah.
Before I let you two go, let me just say this. I want both of y'all to respect each other. The people are here for the information. Y'all not going to be talking over each other. Allow the person to finish.
Hold on.
Yes.
Bring other people up too.
Okay.
No.
One conversation.
All right, but hold on. Just hold on. I got this, y'all. Just relax, y'all.
I'm having it the same way he had it.
Right. I got you. But
Hold
right
on.
now,
Hold on.
He's not trying to write the one-on-one with me yet.
Everybody
He doesn't know what a scientific theory is.
Yo, come on, brother. Stop. You already starting
I'm
to
not
be rude and disrespectful, man.
No, I'm not.
All right, both of y'all, man. Calm down, man. I'm not on nobody's side, brother. I'm not going to hold nobody.
Read the damn title, though.
All right, I got you.
Let's go.
All right, so Enql, it's on you, brother.
Okay, so before we get going,
I'm gonna see who get frustrated first, man.
Well, then Unc already lost.
I wasn't frustrated at all. Shit.
Okay, so first things first.
You have something to say about the presentation, sir? Because I'm not going down a wild rabbit hole or New Wappins or polite, because you know you're a politean, question and answer. This is what we're not doing. We're sticking to the presentation, brother. This is what
all right, let him speak. Come on, man. Because when you came in his show yesterday, you was able to talk about what you want. So allow this brother to say.
Show. He had a pseudo show.
Let him, but it don't matter. Let him speak on the same topic. Go ahead.
Right. Go ahead.
Man.
Yeah.
You scared of what I'm gonna ask you?
I'm not going to think if I don't know, I'm gonna say I don't know. So let's go.
Okay. So I just want to get some clarity on what we're doing before we start. Right? I want to be able to ask you, because while you was talking, I was taking some notes. So I have a variety of questions that I want to be able to ask you. Also, at the same time, you had a bunch of questions that you was asking me hypothetically throughout the course of your video. So I would like us to be able to exhaust all of our questions and get answers. Like I want to ask you all of my questions, and I want you to be able to ask me all of your questions so that the audience can hear both of our sides of the conversation. And then we open up the panel to the rest of the people so that they can judge or make comments or whatever the case fairly on whatever it is that you have put forth and whatever I'm putting forth. Is that fair?
I'm not doing none of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing none of that. Ask the question about what I presented. Ask a question about what you talked about yesterday. I'm going to stay right there.
But that's what I'm talking about. I want to ask questions about what you presented and what I presented.
Right.
So is that fair?
I don't know when you start asking the crazy questions. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. So let's do this. Can you put that slide back up on the screen where you presented your sources? You presented 3 sources to us early in your conversation. Can you put those 3 sources back up on the screen?
I don't even know what you're talking about, Enql.
You don't remember? You had a slide.
I had a lot of slide presentations, bro.
Right, but one of your slides had 3 sources, and you made a big deal out of having sources, and I didn't have sources, is what you were saying. So I just want you to put
all my slides had sources. Everything. What was the subject matter? What is the subject matter you want to figure out if I got sources?
It was the first set of slides that you put up on the screen.
With Popper?
You had 3 sources on the screen, sir. Can you just put back up your slide and I'll show you which one it is?
Yeah, which you tell me, I'm gonna read it to you. You tell me which one you want. I'm gonna get it for you. Let me see. I don't even got that right here. All I got is the only one I got is Darwin's work in scientific racism. It's the only one I got back up. Let's see if I can find it. Go ahead and ask your question. Let me see if I can find it because I already just killed it. Let me see.
No. I'll wait till you get it. We got time. Because my question is directly about the slide. So I want everybody to be able to see the slide when I ask you the question. I don't want to be like blindsiding you or tricking you.
Do you want Karl Popper or Kuhn?
No. I want you to pull up the slide so we can see the slide.
Or Famian? Which one? Come on, man. I know what you. Come on, bro. Which you hear me?
Okay. What's that last name you just said?
So you want to say that I'm mispronouncing the thing?
No.
Yeah, nigga, that's what you doing. Me and you both know that's what you doing.
No, that's not what I'm doing.
Hold on. Feynman. How do you pronounce that?
Feynman.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So we know what you're doing. Jabari did the whole damn thing. So what about Feynman? What about him? The pleasures of finding things out. What about the source, bro?
Okay. No, what I'm saying is, hold on.
Go ahead. You good?
A part of Jabari's commentary was that my sources was no good because Jabari says that you can't use AI, you can't use Google, you can't use Wiki. Like those are all 3 sources that, according to Jabari, is not scholarship.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't agree with that.
Okay.
And Jabari is in an academic setting. So like Dr. Mayat, she doesn't use Wikipedia. She does not allow her students to do it. But I ain't in the goddamn college, and I need basic shit. Okay. So I can understand encyclopedia. So he's wrong because he can't hog ties like that. But that's part of his thing. That's what he do, bro.
All right. I gotta come in. Hold on.
No, you don't. He making
no, you don't, son. Why do you gotta come in?
No. I gotta come in. Objection. I gotta come in.
Oh, you got to defend Jabari. So
I'm not defending Jabari. What I'm saying is,
highly of him though. Just now, he's a professor. Professors like him and Dr. Mayat do not let you.
What I'm saying is, let Jabari defend himself.
What?
And he's not here.
Stop.
Let nobody.
All this time, hold on. Stop. All this time,
off track by bringing up somebody else. It's you two on the screen. Sir. You two do better. All right. Time is in. Y'all two go ahead. Back to y'all.
Nah, I'm with you on this one, Enql. I don't appreciate that.
Like, exactly. I'm not doing that. Exactly.
That's what I'm not doing. I'm not doing that.
We're discussing the conversation that started yesterday with me, Unc, and Jabari. So it's not even possible for us to have this conversation.
All you're going to do is make Jabari hit the link. You don't want to do that, y'all.
Jabari can hit the link when it's time for Jabari to hit the link. I would love Jabari to hit the link after me and Unc finish having our conversation.
See that? Even Brother shaking his head at y'all. He's shaking his head at y'all, man.
No. The people gonna get back on you, bro. They see what you do with Jabari. It's crazy. You gotta stop that. You really gotta stop that.
No, listen, I can understand you defending the person when they lie on a person, but you forgot we just did an interview, me, you, and him, when I came to New York, and I said, let's have a scholarly discussion. I said, talk to me like you talked to one of your colleagues, and I brought up Wikipedia. He's like, yo, you told me this, you can't use that. And I was like, knock it off, bro.
Boom.
That's the same tactic he used on Enql. But for what he's doing in a college setting, they don't allow you to use it.
And wait, Unc, let me add this. And when I reviewed the video, we caught Jabari Googling and using AI.
I don't mind that. Hold on.
Listen, because you know how when you talking, Sa like to put the camera on somebody else. So I'm talking, and while I'm talking, we caught Jabari like this. And I stopped talking, and we could hear Jabari pressing buttons, looking at the screen.
But listen, man, I ain't getting on your side.
But wait, all right. So hold on. Let's
you
go
should
to
be
the
able
slide.
to look up stuff. I don't agree with that, but go ahead.
All right. So you said you used Feynman, and you did mispronounce it. So I was gonna troll you a little bit.
I know you was. That's why I got you for you trolled me. You know what I'm doing for you.
But what I wanted you to do was to tell us the information that you used Richard Feynman for a source as. Like when you say Richard Feynman is the source and you quote the name of his article, what is it that in his article or his subject matter that you're using for a part of your argument?
The part of the argument I was using for to make the explanation of, remember I use it and we don't know. And he's basically just him and Popper and them. They're basically trying to show you how science works. Okay, so he's basically finding out things, right? That's his book, The Pleasure of Finding Out Things. You know, how do you find out things? And so the way you find out things is through questioning, right? So that's what he's used for, yo. I use Popper for talking about the logic of scientific discovery. You know, Popper always talks about different things. So
I just wanted to ask about Richard Feynman because I'm very familiar with Richard Feynman. Like he's one of the people I use all the time as a source because his main thing was QED or quantum electrodynamics. Okay. So he talks about the science of light and matter and how, you know, light and electrons and just atoms, you know, just that interaction between light and matter. So so I use him all the time. So I was trying to figure out how is it that you use the reference of Richard Feynman for anything that has to do with Darwin, because
the
material that Richard Feynman has again didn't come about till 100 years later, which would fall under the category of mostly like quantum mechanics and subatomic particles and, you know, post Copenhagen when they started to deal with the double slit experiment, things like that. So I just was saying to myself, like, that's not even in play. But I get it. I get what you was trying to do with the you know, saying that you use it for a reference. But
right, I wasn't using it against Darwin or for Darwin.
Okay. Now the other part of that is, I don't have a problem with somebody saying I don't know.
All right.
So my only thing with that was, if like Sa was doing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to put it on you. I'm going to say like Sa was doing. Sa said you are the resident expert on Charles Darwin's theory, right?
Yeah, that's hyperbole. I'm not an expert. You know, he just talking shit. Just like you ain't a doctor.
But no. But whatever you say got to hold up. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm absolutely a naturopathic doctor. So whatever you say, like what Sa was saying, to discredit me, I'm just saying, if you're an expert on Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, then you're supposed to be familiar with Pangenesis because that was the scientific portion of it. That's how Darwin explained his theory of evolution. That's how Darwin explained natural selection when he was challenged. He was challenged on his theory of evolution, and his response was Pangenesis. And when it was tested, it was found out to be incorrect, right? So when we talk about the scientific method, like you bring up the scientific method, and we discussed it the other day, and even when Juju came in, Juju actually agreed with me. That was the funniest part of the video. Is like everybody that disagreed with me, the substance of what they were saying actually was what I was saying. So like Juju was trying to disagree with me and support you, but in the middle of what she was saying, and you know we got video, but in the middle of what she was saying, she said, when people create scientific theories or hypotheses and they test it, and they test it to validate it, and it's found to be incorrect, it's no longer science, right? It's no longer considered to be a scientific theory. So that's actually, in essence, what I was saying, right? That's what I was saying, in essence, is that Charles Darwin's theory of evolution was tested and it failed. So, so there's that part, right? There's that.
And
part.
Can we discuss that part? Is that
absolutely part? Go in, do your thing.
So, and this is where you keep getting it wrong at. Everything you just said was actually misorganized, because that's not what Pangenesis did. And so I'm not an expert on evolution. That's just something that sa.neter says, bro. I'm a layman like everybody else that decided to read a damn Dr. Ben's book that pushed me to scientific endeavor and reading high-level scientific information. So I'm going to make mistakes, right? I'm not going to know as much as an expert would. So you can expect me to say more often than an expert. I don't know. At least we to the elevation point where you can admit you don't know something. That's all I'm saying. So that's not a game.
Cool. That's cool.
But you take advantage of that, though. That's
I didn't. No, I didn't. That is between Sa and Jabari. That I did not take advantage.
Let me finish my point, though. My point is the way you're characterizing a Pangenesis. Now I'm gonna ask you for a source. What source did you have that will say that Pangenesis actually debunked the scientific quote unquote theory of Charles Darwin's evolution by way of natural selection? See, that's the question, bro. Now, so I just asked you a question. Give us a source.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
You cannot ask me.
I'm going to answer your question directly.
Go on like that.
While at the same time asking you a question.
Don't you need that time to get it right, though, bro? I think you need that time to get that right.
Wait, why? I'm going to give you a source and I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
Here's a source. Do you see that right there?
I ain't looking.
Sa, can you make the screen big on me so we can all see this right here?
What? Let me see, man. You always playing. What is that?
Can you see that?
Stop. The variation of animals and plants under. Yeah, that's what he discussed Pangenesis at, man. Come on, bro. This is me.
Okay. So
am I right or wrong?
That's a fact. So are you familiar with this material?
That look New York. It look like you just got there yesterday. Where you get that from? Overnight?
I know. I got this overnight. But meanwhile, wait. I got this overnight. But meanwhile, I was the only one on the show yesterday familiar with the material.
Man, hold that book up again. I dare you. I dare you hold it up. Turn it to the side. The white page. Look, the other way. The other way. Man, you ain't read that damn book, Enql.
What? Listen to what I'm saying.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Don't try to use your charisma and your jokes to distract people from the actual information.
Okay, so go ahead.
Everybody, wait, listen. Everybody already saw yesterday that I was the only person on the show familiar with Pangenesis.
Hold on. Jabari claimed he knew it. I'm saying I didn't, so I'm good with that.
I'm gonna tell you. Listen. Jabari did not know Pangenesis at all. We saw throughout the video he didn't. Even when Jabari pulled up his articles, he totally defrauded the community.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Invalidated. He did, because he was supposed to be pulling up information on Pangenesis, and guess what he did? He pulled up 2 articles on natural selection. So he pretended to have source material on Pangenesis and talked about natural selection when that wasn't even the conversation, because even natural selection hinges on Pangenesis.
It don't. So give me a source. Now I asked you for a source.
I just gave you. Wait a minute.
No, that's Charles Darwin book. That's Charles Darwin book, yo.
So what better source for Charles Darwin's material than Charles Darwin's books? Like what? Like I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing.
No. Since we can't use sa.neter, I need the audience to know that I'm asking Enql for a source that verifies that Pangenesis debunks evolution. Then he pulls up the book where Charles Darwin talks about Pangenesis. So then elaborately explain what the hell you saying right now with that. So you saying Charles Darwin debunked his own work?
Okay, no. That's not what I'm saying. Let me clarify it. I got you. If what you're saying is, okay, let me clarify. I'm not saying that the theory of Pangenesis debunked Charles Darwin's work. What I'm saying is that the theory of Pangenesis is the scientific portion of Charles Darwin's work. And when Charles Darwin's scientific theory called Pangenesis was debunked, it debunked Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, including Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason why. So like when you just read scientific theory and you read the scientific method and you just did your thing, everything that you read said that it requires experiments, right? It requires experiments. And when those experiments fail, you have to, at least at the bare minimum, get rid of the hypotheses or the theory and reevaluate the material because it's proven to be wrong.
I agree with you. Hold on. I agree 100% with you. Hold on. I agree 100% with you. But there's a little problem with that.
Okay, go ahead.
They did get rid of Pangenesis. They actually did. So let me show my screen.
Okay, so
we was going to do it. Hold on.
Okay, so when they got rid of Pangenesis,
it's my turn.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so when they got rid of Pangenesis, what happened next?
Ain't nothing happened. He went on, and so your statement was incorrect because actually that's two separate books. One is dealing with Pangenesis, and the other is a scientific treatise, okay, by way of origin of a species by way of natural selection. That's two separate books containing two separate ideas. Now, he was trying to explain inheritance through Pangenesis, but that did not interrupt the theory of evolution, bro, because the whole world will actually know that. Let me, sa.neter, share my screen. Hold on, just let me share my screen. Share my screen, sa.neter. Okay. So right here, we want to go right here. That's what I want to do. I want to do Pangenesis, genetics, and evolution. Darwin's hypothesis, not a scientific theory, right? Because he was basically saying he didn't know. Remember how we talked about that earlier? Galton's criticism, Mendel's genetics, and why evolution stood strong. Darwin's idea of Pangenesis, proposed in 1868. My fault. 1868. Boy, I know if I mess up with you, boy, you ain't playing. Between you and Jabari, boy, y'all be on it. It's all good. It says the variation of animals and plants under domestication. That's the book you showed the audience. That's good that you got that work. You should probably read it. It says suggested that all cells produce geminoles. If I'm pronouncing the word wrong, please help me out because
go ahead. Go ahead. Just get through it.
Hereditary information. It say geminoles accumulate in reproductive organs and are passed to offsprings. Attempted to explain inheritance and variation, and you explained this eloquently. Okay.
Thank you.
All the damn slide. Now, Francis Galton criticism. You also brought this up. Galton tested Pangenesis using blood transfusions experiments in 1869 and 1871. Expected geminoles in the blood of transferred traits. It says no evidence of transferred traits was found. Concluded Pangenesis lacked empirical support. This is where this shit is falling apart. This is science right in front of y'all eyes. Let me finish. It says shift to Mendel's genetics. Greg Mendel, P. Plant experiments published in 1866, rediscovered in the 1900s. It says demonstrated inheritance through discrete units, later called genes. Mendel genetics replaced Pangenesis as the foundation of heredity. So you see what's going on here, right? Yes. Pangenesis was replaced by Mendel's genetics in understanding the fundamental heredity through genetics. It say,
could we stop right there?
Provided.
Okay.
What'd you say?
I just wanted to come in before you go to another slide, but go ahead, finish reading.
I'm almost finished. I don't do long. I do 3-4 slides. That's it. It say provided the missing mechanism Darwin lacked. So Darwin lacked a missing mechanism, like horizontal gene transfer is a mechanism. Okay, inheritance is a mechanism, but it does not affect natural selection. Now, so Mendel's genetics later on, right, would replace pangenesis, okay, and it provided the missing mechanism. So that's all Darwin thing lacked was what? A mechanism. Now watch this. It said why evolution was not debunked. This is important. Evolution by natural selection explained change in the species. I'm gonna say this again. Evolution by natural selection explained change in the species, and it explains a variety of life on Earth. It actually unified all of biology. Now watch this. Pangenesis only attempted to explain inheritance. This is what Jabari said. Failure of pangenesis did not invalidate natural selection. Modern synthesis from 1930s to the 40s combined Darwin's and Mendel. It say today's evolution supported by DNA and molecule genetics. Key takeaways: pangenesis flawed hypothesis, not a lasting theory. Galton's experiments discredited Geminols. Mendel's genetics provided the correct model of inheritance. Darwin's theory of evolution remained valid and was strengthened. I'm gonna end it right there. That's what I'm at with. I'm not gonna sit up here and argue with you over that, bro. This is what I'm not doing. So
hold on.
And that's it.
Okay, I got you. Now let me ask you a question, because again, right? It's a matter of being familiar with the subject matter, right? So let me ask you this. In your understanding, was Charles Darwin familiar with Mendel's information?
He was familiar with Mendel. He may have known him, but his work was obscure. Remember, they forgot about it. It seemed the Europeans do that shit all the time. Discover something on it and then forget about the shit. So no, I don't think Darwin actually read his material. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't think he did. I'm not quite sure. I'll say that. But go ahead.
Okay, so at first you said yes, then you said no. So let's just hit the share screen real quick.
No, what I'm saying is I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure he actually read his work.
Okay.
So I might have heard in the place he did, but I'm not quite sure. But go ahead, though.
Sa, are you there?
But what does that have to do with pangenesis, though? You taking us on a wild ride. What does that have to do with pangenesis?
You just put that up in your slide.
No, I'm actually. What does that have? No, what does that have to do with pangenesis overthrowing? I gotta keep us on the main point, bro. He says the damn scientific theory, evolution by means of natural selection.
Okay, so I asked Google real quick. Did Charles Darwin know about Gregor Mendel's work? And the AI responds, no. Charles Darwin did not know about Gregor Mendel's work.
All right, that's what I said. Go ahead.
Okay, so now.
So now what? What that mean? If he'd have known it, he would have used it. That's what they do.
Okay, so what I'm saying is,
what you saying?
The same thing that I've been saying this entire time.
You don't do it.
No. Just hold on. Just let me talk to it. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, which hinged on pangenesis, was found to be incorrect. So that is the reason why later on it was replaced with Mendel's work. See, if Charles Darwin's work was correct, there would have been no reason to replace it. So the fact that it was replaced means that it was incorrect. That's what I'm trying to I'm trying to get that through. And although you are starting to agree with me today on most of the points that I'm making.
Why would you say that?
Why would I say what?
Yeah, why would you say that? You know what I'd agree with you on. And I want to make that because the audience can get tricked. I agree about pangenesis.
Wait,
right?
You just read in your slide that Mendel's work.
No. Let me finish my point. I agree, right, that pangenesis is now a default or debunked hypothesis,
correct,
based off of Galton's work
Yes,
and
sir.
based off of later on Mendel's work. I'm also trying to introduce the point that Darwin was trying to figure out the mechanisms in inheritance. How do the next generation get that change? Like, what is it? We now know today that it's the genes. He didn't know that. So he came up with, and you said it, the daggone wishbecoming. So he didn't have that part of it right, but he had the overall reaching part, which is different. A theory by way of natural selection different. See, but the inherit, how do they inherit it? He didn't have that part right. But so as in all theories, as later information come, you can add to the theory.
Right.
That's not a problem. So the modern synthesis includes Mendel's genes and genetics. Come on, bro. You sharper than that, yo, to play that game like that.
Hold on.
Be right. You can.
Oh, listen to what I'm saying to you. Let me do it another way. Let me try to do this a different way. Okay.
Then Soldier Kane, you ignorant. I just want to shout to Soldier Kane, boy, you're ignorant, boy. Big up to the ignorance in the audience by Soldier Kane. Straight ignorance. But go ahead.
You really gotta try. Look, I'm almost 50, which means you like 60 or 70, bro. We gotta show the younger generation that we could do better than name calling.
Man, I didn't name call. I said the man was ignorant, just like I was ignorant on having all the information on Pangenesis. There's nothing wrong with being ignorant. I define what ignorant was. It's simply not to know.
I got you.
Right. So and I ain't say I wish I was 70. And let's hope you make my age there, bro. Because let's look at
I do hope that I get to be your age and beyond. I don't take nothing away from that. I'm just saying that at a certain age, we got to try to present ourselves a certain type of way to the folks coming behind us.
Yeah, you look like you about 75, bro.
You got it. Okay. I might look like I'm 90. I'm just saying.
A little close.
After 30, you know, because the children got it organized. You go from like big bro to unk and all that. So I'm just saying, once we transition from big bro to unk, we got to start providing an example. That's all. So here's what I'm saying.
So Charles Darwin is a mechanism, right?
Charles Darwin's
big up to Mac Rob. Go ahead, yo.
Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and his theory of natural selection.
No, that's not true. You made that up.
Wait a minute. What did I mean? What did I mean? You didn't even let me finish my sentence. What are you talking about?
Charles Darwin theory of evolution and Charles Darwin theory of natural selection is crazy because that's not what it is. That is the theory. The theory is the theory of natural selection. That's the damn theory.
Okay, that's fine.
But it falls under the banner of evolution. And natural selection is one of the mechanisms. About 10 years ago, you brought up another mechanism called horizontal gene transfer. So inheritance is also a mechanism. So go ahead. I'll bring that screen up. But go ahead.
I just want to help you for a second, though, because
you ain't helping me. Said,
wait. Okay, just can I talk or you not finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you just said that I was wrong for separating Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and natural selection, and then you said that natural selection goes up underneath Charles Darwin's theory of evolution.
I said that is the theory.
Just remember, we on video. So I'm saying,
so if I missed
something goes underneath something, hold on. If something goes underneath something, this is a mechanism, yo. Damn. Explaining why things evolve over time, man. Come on, yo. If something goes underneath something, then that means it is a separate thing, or it is a specific part of the larger thing. I'm telling you, these are facts.
Mechanisms of why things change over time. There's different reasons.
Okay.
And so there's different.
Can you explain to me real quick what natural selection is? Just we talking. I
would like to explain it. First of all, let me explain it through artificial selection. And we know about the gray wolf, okay? And over time, the gray wolf has evolved to all living canines today. Now, how did this process occur? This process occurred based off of humans over time, picking out heritable traits in the animal, inheritable traits in animals that was more favorable for humans. And so let's take a pack of wild wolves. You got some wolves that keep barking. You got some wolves that keep attacking humans. You got some humans that keep fighting for food. And then you'll have a couple wolves that's a little more temperate in their behavior, right? Some wolves that ain't trying to snatch the food from humans. And so what they would do is they would pick those group of dogs. And so over time, by selective breeding, breeding the dogs that they want, looking for a particular trait, the same way they do today with all the dogs and canines, right? You will get a variety of wolf that's not as vicious, that's a little more quieter. And so, dog breeders do the same thing today. They breed for dogs with long ears and short ears, long tails and short tails, bigger noses, bigger snout, all kind of stuff. And so, hold on, bro, I'm explaining. So this is called artificial selecting, meaning the human is selecting the favorable trait that they want. Now, natural selection means nature does the selection. The trait just has to work good enough, right? It don't gotta be perfect, just good enough to allow the organism to give birth to a valuable offspring. A valuable offspring means has the ability to make it to the age of reproduction. And making it to the age of reproduction can transfer his genes to the next generation. That, my man, is natural selection. And it falls under the banner of evolution, because evolution is change over time.
Gotcha.
Now answer my damn question.
Wait, hold on. You can't change the subject.
Pangenesis, right? Debunked evolution. I'm just going back to that because you have not given that source. But go ahead.
Hold on. So now that we got artificial selection and natural selection that you just explained to us, artificial selection is about the information passed down from the parents to the offspring. And that is artificial when it's guided by humans.
Yeah, it's artificial. That's why the word is artificial.
Natural selection is the process of when the information passed from parent to offspring is guided by nature.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Got you. And those is both the main portion of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution.
That's
correct?
His only portion.
That's his only portion. That's even better.
Yeah, he got right.
Perfect. Now,
when it came down to inheritance, he got it wrong and it got out of there. And later on, they picked it up and explained it by goddamn minerals, genes, and genetics. What's the point, bro?
Wait. Hold on. Because you're going so fast that we can't get clarity.
Okay. So, you mean you can't get the clarity? It's cool.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, artificial, natural. It's about the transfer of information from parent to offspring. Now, when Darwin released his first book and he was talking about his idea of evolution, that's why it's Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Right. And this is where I think that you and maybe some of your contemporaries may have it incorrect, because the reason why they had to single out that this is Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is because there were already many scientists before Darwin that was working on the theory of evolution.
Sure was. What's your point?
So Darwin, that right there with what we just discussed, the natural selection, that was a part of the basic observation that already existed from those previous scientists. Everyone on Earth that was alive, all humans, can see that there are traits that are passed from parent to offspring. That is not a part of the specificity of Charles Darwin's
Say it again.
All adults can notice, can observe that traits are passed from parent to child. Like if you have a child, you can look at the child and go, oh, that's your dad's nose. Oh, you got your mom's eyes. Hey, you talk like your father. Hey, you walk like your mom. Or it looked like you got that from your uncle, blah, blah, blah.
I'm not comfortable with that. That's called lookership. I'm not comfortable with that explanation you just gave, but go ahead.
Okay. So are you saying that, just for clarity, are you saying that observing that traits were passed from parent to child was created by Charles Darwin?
No, Darwin didn't create anything. He just observed it.
Got you. So what I'm saying, the specificity required for Darwin to separate himself from all of the scientists that came before him
Was what? Because you know I know.
Was Pangenesis.
No, man, you made that shit up. You guys.
Oh, don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. No, listen. Don't cut me off. Just let me finish. If you disagree, you disagree.
All right, go ahead, man. And we still gonna get back to you. Where's that source that says Pangenesis debunked evolution? But keep going. Go ahead.
Okay. So
yeah.
So let me recap for you. So the theory of evolution, how things change over time, and how traits are passed from parent to child, we have established, and you do agree, that there were plenty of scientists who addressed that before Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they was trying to put some people, but go ahead. I'm gonna tell you why they wasn't successful. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me why they wasn't successful.
Because they didn't identify the mechanism. That's why he's called.
Wait.
No, don't cut me
right there.
Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off.
Okay, go ahead.
Cut me off.
Go ahead.
Because he identified the mechanism, which was natural selection. He gave him the why. You got Al-Jahid. He also talks about evolution. Okay, but he didn't identify it. He talks about lice and how the different color lice. There are whiter lice on a man with gray hair and darker lice on a man with darker hair. So he's definitely talking about that. He's an indigenous African mixed with an Arab. Okay, is in the Islamic literature. So the difference between Charles Darwin and everybody else trying to figure it out was that he identified the mechanism. What was the mechanism? Natural selection. I'm gonna finish with this. There's a few mechanisms. There's mutation, which will bring new variety. There's also natural selection. We just talked about that. Adaptive change, right? There's genetic drift, right? You understand genetic drift. You also understand gene flow. It's time periods you've talked about, quote unquote, horizontal gene transfer. There's also non-random mating and sexual selection. These are drivers. These are mechanisms. And so the real debate is never over whether evolution occurs. A lot of times the debate is over, is it a new mechanism, right? Or what mechanism caused this particular organism to change, my brother? So back to the question you have not answered. Where is the source that says that Pangenesis, which was a misstep, a debunked, tentative hypothesis by Charles Darwin that tried to explain quote unquote how things was inherited? He got that wrong. The modern synthesis will use Mendel's recommendations and scientific inquiry, right? And we get into the genes and genetics. So where's the source that says that? We're at this point, we did a half an hour of you not giving me that daggone source. Where the source, bro? And don't keep showing me Charles Darwin, but come on, bro. Man, why don't you just admit you got that? I tell you what, we can negotiate this. I've already
don't try to over talk me.
I'm not. Let me finish my point. I'm gonna let you go.
Oh my God!
Listen, I just want to negotiate right here. Listen,
this is crazy.
I think we've had a great show. Matter of fact,
you scared now.
The last
you scared. You're trying to divert.
No, I'm not. Listen. The last.
The people in the chat see what's happening, right?
I don't care. I don't care about them. It's me and you. Me and you talking. They ain't fought each other for 20 years like me and you. I'm saying that. I appreciate you.
Wait, look at Sa. Cherry picking the comments to put on the screen to try to create the narrative.
This is my point. I appreciate you bringing up horizontal gene transfer years ago, right? I appreciate you bringing up Pangenesis, right, and educating us on that. I actually appreciate that. But what I don't appreciate is you misrepresenting what it meant to evolution. That's the pseudo part right there. That's it. That's the piece. And so at this point, we can negotiate. Just say you did a great job. Hold on, let me finish. Just say, yo, you know what, yo, I did a great job explaining it, but I got it wrong when I tried to make it debunk evolution. And then we'll just end it right here, bro.
Okay, let me finish talking.
You gotta lift some other people up too at this point, yo.
All right, hey, hold up. Enql, I don't appreciate how you still trying to set up the narrative like I'm
I
helping.
don't appreciate you saying that you were going to be impartial, and then you keep introducing Jabari and depending on Jabari. And now that I told you what you was doing, you trying to mix up the comments and put other comments in. You wasn't going to do that until I said something.
Look at the comment I got up, brother. Come on, man.
Stop, stop.
Oh man, hey, why y'all keep blaming me for all of this, brother?
All you got to do is be impartial,
and I am.
Then leave Jabari wherever Jabari at, man. Stop glazing Jabari.
All right, brother. I got you, brother. I got you.
Don't listen to him. Sorry, tripping. You all right, man. Shit, I don't expect you to be impartial. I expect you to promote your champion, Jabari. I don't expect you to promote.
Jabari ain't a champion. Listen.
He's sa.neter champion. What you want me to say?
But he's not even really Sa champion because a bunch of people done beat. Let me tell you what Jabari does. And Sa allows Jabari to do this, which is what makes it seem like Jabari knows things that he doesn't. Jabari comes on the platform and Sa allows Jabari to dictate the points of emphasis in a conversation. And then he allows Jabari to determine what tools should be acceptable references to provide source material or information on those points of interest, which allows Jabari to hide from the things that he doesn't know and then over promote the things that he's comfortable with and make it look like Jabari is actually sharper than he really is. Now, for the most of the people that watch the channel, they like, oh, look at Jabari cooking. For the smart people, they like, oh, look at Jabari hiding, right? So you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time, which is the reason why me and Unc, like he just said, we done disagreed for 10 years or more. Really, it's longer than that now. It's the early 2000s. Now it's 2025. It's going 15, 20 years. But the first thing, set that on the record. The first thing me and Unc was ever able to agree on is that Sa be caping for Jabari. Let the record reflect that me and Unc been at war on every subject you could think of, but we agree on that thing with Jabari. So Jabari, you know on borrowed time, Jabari. Just like they evaluating how long Canelo is using steroids now.
Oh man,
we gotta realize that Jabari been on.
I want to ask you a question.
No, hold on, son. Let me say this before you jump in. I always felt like that was when I came on sa.neter. That the Floyd Mayweather or the House of Congress would pop up. You got to negotiate the bombs flying and all that. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like there'd be a challenge not to get frustrated. I was laughing when he had you flushed out like, oh man, they feel that pain. But you got to it makes you a better speaker. It make you better when you can navigate that. I ain't never mad at sa.neter.
That's a fact. I totally agree with what you're saying right there.
It was good. He do talk long, yo, so he gonna kill you on that.
Right. Man, and he says nothing, just repeating himself over and over. But,
I thought he was right, completely right with his assessment yesterday. Go ahead.
Listen, it's cool to create the environment, to make it difficult, blah, blah, blah. All that's what it is.
That's what it is.
But when Sa couples that with a narrative is where it begins to become spin as opposed to creating a tough environment, because it's only a tough environment because it's you got somebody using steroids where somebody else is natural. You got somebody that's being cheated for while you got somebody else being cheated against. So it's not really a tough environment because you have to prove your scholarship. It's a tough environment because proving your scholarship will not be enough. You also have to fight against the false narratives that are being created by the quote unquote impartial judge. So I'm only saying the frustrating part is when Sa tries to pass off his impartiality as being impartial. Now, to go back to natural selection, what I'm saying is
no. Let me say this first. First of all, when I put bombs and all of that, it's only because at that time Jabari's debating, he's the only one that sources up. Everybody else shut the hell up. Jabari sources up, and the people sees that. Whenever Jabari is in the building, you can guarantee he's going to bring you sources to back up what he say.
Now let me respond to that.
He might misread the motherfuckers though.
Wait. Let me respond to that. Hold on. That's a part of how Jabari cheats.
Definitely misread that source of confluence.
Absolutely. Listen. Listen. That's what I'm saying. That's a part of. Did you see that? I absolutely saw that. Listen. That's a part of how you allow Jabari to cheat, Sai. You don't even realize it. When you allow Jabari to dictate what the acceptable sources are, then you get to cape and glaze and say Jabari's the only one providing sources. Because if somebody goes and pulls up Wikipedia, or if somebody goes and hits the Google, or if somebody uses AI, which let me just inform you guys, right? Because I don't know if y'all are in the year 2025 yet, but there's a reason why Google is such a large company, because the majority of the world is using that as reference and source material and a new way to search. That's number one. Number two, what you're doing with books, which is what Jabari actually said 3 or 4 times in the last video, AI just searches the books for you and pulls up what's in the books. So if AI is searching in the books and pulling up what's in the books, why would AI be unacceptable? I'll tell you why. Because it invalidates some of Jabari's points. And so what Jabari wants to do is invalidate source material. And then because he's sitting in front of a whole bunch of books that he hasn't read, he wants to be able to say, oh, where's the book? Where's the book? Where's the article? Where's the article? Now, here's what's going to happen. All of this stuff is documented on the record. And so when I come back here on September 26th, when I come back here on 20,
yeah, that's what you see. That's when it's
hold on.
Playing
when
field.
I come back on September 26th, right? And I show the scientific journals agreeing with what I'm saying word for word.
On this one right here?
On this one right here. I want Sa. I don't even want Jabari to I don't even want Jabari to tap out. You know what I'm saying? I want to see.
Well, can we see it now though? So you don't got it today?
I absolutely got it today because I showed it the other day. I showed it the same night on my channel, because on my channel, people more interested in reading. Over here is not much reading going on. It's just like personality worship. So I saved that for my channel. You know what I'm saying?
You over here scamming, man.
No. Listen, my people
No, Enql. They over there because they used to the pseudo shit.
Yeah, I got you.
They over there. They not scientific literate like Unc say, brother. Come on, man.
Okay. All right. So now look,
making those sources up, brother.
Now look, Sa's getting the vote, and now Sa's joining in with
you took a
argue. Sa, I thought you was
you took a dagger at me. You threw a dagger at me.
No, I didn't.
No, you threw a dagger over here.
No, stop. That's science I just threw at you because me and Unc made an observation which has been validated by historical reference and experimentation. Yesterday's video served as an experiment, and today's video served as an experiment to validate Unc and I's.
I'll gladly pay you for a hamburger today.
Exactly. Yeah. See, you got to come in with the joke. All right, so let me get back to this work. So here's what I'm saying. The mechanism, right? So going back to what I'm saying, because we get distracted now. So the mechanism, right, of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, which, as you say, is natural selection.
Yeah, bro.
Right. The mechanism is how the information transfers from parent to offspring.
No, that's
the mechanism. Okay, so look. This is where we're going to disagree, and we'll just let the audience decide or research.
Let
me finish talking. The mechanism is actually how the genetic information is transferred from parent to offspring.
Right. That's
wait. Oh, so you agree?
Yeah. Are you doing this on purpose?
Hold on.
He just didn't explain how the genes was inherited, bro. But he explained why things change because they adapt to their environment, and genes and traits are picked, bro. You know what I'm saying? The genes work just good enough. So for instance,
just let me finish talking, because genes didn't even exist in Charles Darwin's time.
Right.
So why not keep saying genes and Charles Darwin? You got to stop doing that.
No, but that's what we know now, though. So we're gonna
wait a minute. if Charles Darwin's theory is
come
correct,
on,
listen to what I'm
no.
telling you. So
You cut me
please,
off, yo. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm gonna settle it because
please
I know
let
what
me
you
talk,
didn't
sir.
do. You ain't get that damn source.
Please
Everybody
let me
see
speak.
this man.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Please let me
You
speak.
should be speaking through your source at this point.
Oh my
I done show
God.
about 50 sources. You talking me to death. You worse than Jabari now. At least he gonna get a source, yo. Go get that. Remember, I'm gonna go get that nigga. That's what I do. So go get that source, bro. The first source you showed when I asked you was Charles Darwin's book on quote unquote Pangenesis, right? Which you didn't read. But what you didn't show was that evolution has been debunked. It's still a scientific theory, bro. So why? So then I'm gonna ask you. Why?
You gotta let me finish talking before you ask me a new question.
Oh man, yo, this is crazy. I can't believe you doing that, yo.
You gotta let me finish explaining before you ask me a new question.
Explain exactly. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep,
ready,
ready in 5 minutes.
So now, again, for the recap.
I gotta get out of here, yo. You recap. Go ahead and recap that. Jabari,
evolution.
Get you. Go ahead.
Evolution, the theory of evolution.
Okay.
The study of evolution does not start with Charles Darwin. We agree on that, right?
Yeah, never said it did. I gave it a man name. I've been teaching for 20 years. Al-Jahid, he's one of the players. The Greeks also was trying to talk about it, but keep going.
Okay, great. I got you.
Yeah.
So,
but you don't got me. I'm one that source.
Oh,
go ahead. Yeah, oh boy. You in trouble. You getting old.
You looking crazy a bit, Uncle. Listen, so let me explain to you. Hold on. Let me explain to you, because you keep cutting me off and you're not getting you're not understanding what I'm saying because you're cutting me off. And I at least want to
pseudo-rise. You trying to pseudo-rise, mesmerize.
You gotta stop this, man. This is crazy, bro.
Put your glasses back on. You took your glasses off 20 times yesterday.
Because you don't have no self-control, Unc.
Yo, he's right on that. You do go crazy. You overtalk people.
I know.
When you're trying to talk, you talk. You got to stop that, brother.
Stop Captain Kangaroo for him.
You did the same thing with Jabari on the couch.
And he ain't doing that too.
Quiet and like that. I'm gonna be quiet and let Enql finish, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so now
I was trying to help you out. I was trying to delay you giving us the source. I just wanted to help you out. Go ahead, yo.
Yo, if they offered you $1 million check to be quiet for 10 minutes, you wouldn't get it. Listen,
go ahead.
Now that we have both agreed that there were many scientists before Charles Darwin that was studying the theory of evolution and trying to figure it out, right? The part that you're not understanding is that the thing that separates all of the individual scientists, because all of the individual scientists observed the same phenomena. They all had different hypotheses they was trying to figure out the answer to. That's where the experimentation comes in. So the thing that set Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, that's why, again, it's not called the theory of evolution. That is something entirely different. What we're discussing is Charles Darwin's version, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. And Charles Darwin's theory of evolution was explained by gemmules and Pangenesis. And so the gemmules and Pangenesis portion is what separated Charles Darwin's version from all of the other scientists before him. So when that was found to be incorrect, they had to continue searching for the correct answer. So the fact that you're even using the word gene today in 2025 is a reference that Charles Darwin's theory was incorrect, because if his theory was correct, the word gene would not exist. We would be using the word gemmule or the word gemmule. We would be using what Charles Darwin's explanation for the transfer of information was. So the actual mechanism of the information transfer was incorrect, which means when you sit Charles Darwin's theory of evolution with all the other scientists that came before him, the one thing that they have in common is that they all got it incorrect, which is why the search for the correct mechanism had to continue.
Okay, man. Since you just made all that shit up and lied for the last 25
Okay,
minutes.
wait. Which part of what I said was a lie?
All of it, bro.
Just specify. No, but break it down part by part. Which part of what I said was a lie?
All of it was wrong.
Which part was wrong?
I sat here and told you, right, that evolution, simple, listen, simply put, biological evolution, simply put, is descent with inherited modifications, bro. Just because the man couldn't explain the daggone how the inherited part was transferred does not kill evolution at all, bro. You keep saying that on purpose. I'm talking, and I'm ending with this. That Pangenesis, the wrong explanation of how things was inherited does not debunk evolution. It actually strengthens it once they get that together. And with that, man, I'm gonna get on my phone, so you gotta let you go. I'm done.
Let me ask you a question. Wait,
I'm not. No more question. I gotta go. I'm out.
Hold on. I got a question.
Get on my phone. I'm gonna get on my phone.
Wait.
I'm right
Charles
here.
Darwin. Wait, listen. Charles Darwin was studying fossils. Where you going? Where you like? Get out of here like that.
I'm right here, nigga. I'm listening.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Do you believe in dinosaurs?
Of course, yo. Birds descended from dinosaurs, bro. Of course. All dinosaurs had feathers, nigga. Get it together.
Okay, we descended from dinosaurs, and all dinosaurs.
I didn't say humans descended from dinosaurs. You just said that. I never
okay, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I heard like something sound like
yes. I agree that there are dinosaurs, and the residual of that are birds. Now,
okay,
so I'm telling you, that's how we know dinosaurs exist, by the study of birds.
Okay, so how did Charles Darwin address dinosaurs? Your mic still working up?
Oh, you crazy, man.
No. You just relax over there, Sal. You gotta relax.
I'm not saying nothing, brother. Go ahead. Do your thing.
See, this is one of those moments where they disappear and go to Googling. Yo. Where's Jabari at?
Call him out here in the chat.
Bro, he be going around the hand, give me that source. I'm not talking.
Okay, there you go. So all right. So you don't want to answer that question. So let me ask you this.
What the question was, bro?
I asked you, how did Charles Darwin address dinosaurs?
I'm saying I don't know, bro.
Okay, that's cool.
Answer my question.
That's cool. Now hold up.
Where's the source at, yo? You talking about everything but the source?
Listen, you didn't. You rejected. You rejected my answer. So I'ma just take it at that. But let me ask you this, because you showed some comedic information earlier. Are you showing that comedic information to say that in comedic science they taught Charles Darwin's theory of evolution?
I'll do this on a response video, yo. You tripping right now? Oh, that's what scientific method,
yo. Are you saying yes or no that Charles Darwin's theory of evolution was in line with comedic?
Yo, you talking about 1859 when the work was published, yo?
Right.
1800 BCE, yo. Come on.
So I'm asking you, was Charles Darwin's work in line with Kemet?
Hey, sa.neter, I'm not answering no more questions, yo. As a matter of fact, I don't know. I'm getting off here. I got shit to do right now, yo.
All right, let's get Jabari.
Everybody,
Jabari at?
All right, thank you, Unc. Peace, brother.
All right, peace.
Hey, yo, Enql, let me grade your scholarship right now.
Hey, but tell them, get that source, though, Star, for the record.
You gotta bring up sources, Enql. If you can do that,
never bought that source,
you'll be awesome. You're Achilles dudes, man. That's the only thing that's holding you back is the sources, brother.
All right, Sa, let me tell you something.
Yes.
What you're doing, listen to what I'm telling you.
Oh, man. Here he goes, man.
No. I got to be able to respond. Listen, what you're doing, listen. What you're doing is visible to the audience, brother. Yesterday, listen, wait. Yesterday, right? Acceptable sources only included books, right? Yesterday, acceptable sources, as per when I was talking to Jabari, the only acceptable source was a book. You couldn't look up anything online, Google, AI, Wikipedia. Stop. You gotta relax.
You still have a book right now with sources. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? Let me repeat myself again without your interruption, sir. Yesterday, books were the only acceptable sources. Now, here we go. Less than 48 hours later, books are no longer acceptable sources. So when somebody asks me, hold up. So when somebody asks me for a source and I give them a book as a source,
you got to quote the page. You got to.
I got to do something else.
Listen. You have to quote the page. You have to quote the author, and then because when you do that, other people go and look it up. And now look what you done did. Look what you done did, man. You done woke up to sleeping bear.
Listen to me, Sal. Listen to me.
You done woke up.
Sal, I'm telling you that your biases are showing. You cannot.
Oh, man, I am biased.
Jabari cannot dictate the terms of what a source is on this platform. Bro, you are out of pocket with that.
Jabari, bro.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes. But
now, do you realize you're talking to me?
Listen to me, Enql. Hold up for a minute. Everybody will tell you, not just Jabari, but a source can be when you go and you can Google something and you can show it, or you can get it out of a book and show it, and then you break down the page and then the author so that people can go and look up your source, brother.
Let me ask you a question.
Man, come on. We got.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
We got King.
When Natural Tahuti debated Wesley Muhammad, was that the standard criteria of sources back then for you?
When Ali Muhammad debated,
when Natural Tahuti debated Wesley Muhammad, was the standard of source accepted only a book with a page and a paragraph? Yes or no?
Yes, because he was quoting that person. So if he was quoting,
hold on.
He showed the source of Elijah Muhammad.
Hold on. I just asked you a specific question, and then you gave me a different answer. I asked you, going back to Natural Tahuti versus Wesley Muhammad, is the only form of acceptable source a book, chapter, page, and paragraph?
No.
And you said, no. Okay.
So then the only acceptable source, brother.
Okay, so then where did that come from all of a sudden now today, where that's the only acceptable source, brother?
Might I say something because I have to go to class?
What are you talking about? Go ahead, Jabari.
Hold on.
I'm only going to be here for like 2 minutes.
No, Jabari, you can't come up here and dictate. If you're coming up here, you got to answer questions, brother.
Brother, listen, wait.
You're mute. You're breaking up. Jabari, you cannot come up here.
I just don't have
time.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Ask the question, please.
Yes. So the question is:
can you hear me?
Is Charles Darwin's theory of evolution kinetic science?
Listen.
Yes or no, Jabari? Is Charles Darwin's theory of evolution kinetic science?
Listen.
Right, hold on, Enql, stop, man.
Hold on, Enql. Ask Jabari to answer the question.
So I only have.
You're doing the same thing again.
Why are you crashing out like you
my brother.
need a fix or something?
How you doing,
Stop
sir?
It. Listen. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, sa.neter?
Hello.
Yes.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, King Simon. Jabari's talking. And Jabari freezing. Come on, Enql, you got this, brother. Come on, man.
If I got
I'm
this,
going to
Jabari
class,
got to answer
right?
the question.
Wait,
What?
listen.
Class, brother, allow him to do it.
I have no problem coming on at another time and answering questions. I literally am going into the building to class. This is the only thing I want to say because you've misrepresented a lot of what I said. The first thing I want you to hear is a presentation should never be built on 2 AI overviews and the cover of the book. He didn't even get inside the book. No quotes from inside the book.
All right, Jabari, come on another time, brother. Jabari, you got to come on another
time. The title of the book is what he wanted to know. When you make a claim, you just say this and I'm gone. When you make a claim, your claim should be backed by a source. It's that simple. I'm not saying everything you say has to be a source, but if you make a claim, your claim should be backed by a source. That's all I'm going to say. I'm headed to class. I will see you all. And if you want to schedule some other time, we can do that.
All right. Thank you, Jabari. King Simon, what's up, brother?
Unmute me.
Yes,
can
yes,
you hear me?
we can hear you, brother.
Yes, sir. King Simon.
I'm not here to argue about Darwin because I know Darwin was very biased with a lot of his science. I'm not going to argue about Darwin. But I did ask that question last time Enql was up here about was that type of science in Kemetic scholarship back in the day before Darwin was even in existence. And I didn't get the answer. So what is it that you came up with? Because I don't believe that Darwin is the epitome of this knowledge of evolution. And I know there's more people that came after him and tried and debunked him in regards to that science. So go ahead, brother.
No. Look, King Simon.
Yes, sir.
As my history with the gentleman reflects, as yesterday reflects.
Right.
When these guys don't know, right, what they do is try to look it up real fast and then come back and pretend like they know. So I can't help them right now by answering your question. By answering your question, I would be helping them out. Because here's the problem. Here's the problem. If it is determined, right, that Charles Darwin's theory of evolution conflicts with what was taught in Kemet, then what we have to do is see where Jabari's loyalties lie. Is Jabari really somebody that is promoting Kemet? Is he really about the Kemetic culture? Or is Jabari about what he has learned in university, college, and the scholastic thing? Because if they are not in unison, if the Kemetic science is not in unison with Charles Darwin's theory, then we may have a problem, Houston, right? If Unc is presenting the Edwin papyrus, which he don't even know what's in that papyrus. If he's presenting the Edwin papyrus, he got an answer, but that's why he was willing to answer questions right up until the point where I asked him
about the dinosaurs and what Darwin felt about the dinosaurs.
And when I asked him about the Kemetic thing, I'll answer that on another day. See, what they want the ability to do is they want me to ask them things, and then they want the ability to take time off, go research, and then come back. And what I'm saying is, if you need time to stop, go research, and come back, then you don't know the material, and you can't present yourself to the people as if you're anything more than an enthusiast on the subject if you don't know the information. So as people have learned within the last 36 hours, there's no way that you could be an expert on Charles Darwin's theory of evolution if you have never even heard of Pangenesis. If you've never heard of Pangenesis, that means you have never, ever read. Now, here's what scholars do, right? A scholar reads a thing. And then in order to get a well-rounded view of it, the scholar then has to go and see what the other side of the arguments were. What anybody that proposed any ideas that are counter to that idea, what were they saying? How long did the science or the idea last before it was replaced? And when you do that, you find out that it was gone. So what I was trying to explain to him, which he's kind of not understanding, but I think now that the video's out, some of his people will probably help him understand it, is that there were lots of other scientists that had theories of evolution, and they all proposed different mechanisms for how it worked. So if we go to Lamarck's theory of evolution, or we go to this guy's theory of evolution, they all had a different mechanism that they thought was the thing that made the information pass from parent to child. And when that thing was subject to scrutiny and it failed, that was the end of that idea. That was the end of that. They replaced it with something new and continued to go on. And Mendel had the actual first working model that made any sense. The problem is when you try to mix Mendel with Charles Darwin, you fall flat on your face because Charles Darwin never knew any of Mendel's work. If Charles Darwin would have knew about Mendel's experiments, his work would have probably looked way different. I'm not saying Charles Darwin was an idiot. If he would have been aware of what Mendel was doing, he would have probably adopted that approach, changed up what he was saying, and had a whole different subject matter to present. But there's another problem with Jabari and Enql yesterday. Why would I have to present a source, right? That, like for instance, let's say if I ask you, right? Get off the screen, brother. Stop this. Put King Simon, if anything. I'm asking King Simon a question.
No, I just heard you say, why do I have to present a source?
And let me finish talking, brother. You gotta relax. You gotta relax.
All right, brother. All right.
Jabari's manager, Don Jabari. You gotta stop, bro. So, King Simon, if I ask you, right? If I ask you, is your name King Simon? And you go, and what would you say? Yes or no? If I ask you a yes or no question, is your name King Simon? What would you say?
I would say yes.
Okay. So now, if I ask you a question and then you agree with what I'm saying, why then would I need to provide a source to prove that your name is King Simon if you agree with what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm saying that, you gotta relax, you have to put your bias in your back pocket.
Yo, every time I talk, it ain't got nothing to do with bias, but you got the person right there. So he is the source right there. If you asking them,
okay, hold on, sa.neter.
Somebody said this, and you don't have that person there. Now you got to back up what you're saying. That's called.
Let me ask you a question, son. Don't see. Look, let me show you another example of your bias. When you present an argument and try to defend Jabari, and then I ask you a question about what you're saying, and then you go, nah, I ain't asking no questions because I'm impartial. You can't ask me, you gotta ask Jabari. So now that you jumped out there and you making arguments for Jabari, right? Let me ask you, Sa, did you notice that every single person that came up on the panel yesterday, including Jabari and Enql, agreed that Pangenesis was debunked? Yes or no, Sa?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So why then would I need to present a source that says Pangenesis is debunked if every single person on the panel agreed that Pangenesis was debunked?
Because you're making claims and statements that it wasn't. So now they ask you. So now they asking you, where's your source, brother?
Stop. Listen, stop.
Listen to me, bro. You are making a claim that it wasn't debunked. So they asking you, show us your source.
Sa, you are wilding right now. Listen, my entire presentation is that Pangenesis was debunked. My entire presentation was that. Jabari and Enql was the one saying that it wasn't. So I'm saying, when they all agree with my point, when they all agree, yeah, Pangenesis was debunked, Enql, but I still disagree with you. Why would I need to provide a source for the fact that
made King Simon get off, man?
No. Simon will jump back in if he wants to. Listen, I'm trying to get you to accept logic and understanding, Sa. You got to get past your bias.
Man.
If everybody agrees that if everybody agrees that your name is sa.neter, why would I need to provide a source for that? Every person you bring
I am the source. I am the source.
Everybody on the platform agreed that Pangenesis was debunked. Everybody. Even Enql came on today and said, Enql, you did a great job explaining that yesterday. I mean, that was a great job you did explaining how Pangenesis was debunked. So why would I need to present a source for something that everybody on the panel accepts to be a fact? I'm asking you a question. Don't shake your head. No, answer that now.
Nah, you doing your thing, brother. I don't want to go against you. I don't want to go against you, brother. Go ahead, because you know how your people was tearing me up yesterday, brother.
Well, because
I don't want to go against you, brother. I mean, I let you go ahead and go in, but you're trying to spin the narrative like I'm going against you.
No, side. People just watching the video, bro. Listen, so you got to realize if I'm arguing with Jabari and you take up for Jabari, that is called going against me. I just in case you're not clear on what going against me is.
I am not taking up for Jabari. Show me where I'm taking up for Jabari.
You got to stop it, side. That's
crazy
right there.
Show me right now where I took up for
You know how back in the days the children be like, if you tell a lie, lightning gonna strike you. You would have been on fire right now. Lightning would have struck you so many times right now.
Did I defend Jabari today?
You did Jabari in the last 15 minutes. What you talking about, son?
Man.
Son, you don't even know how to stop doing it. It's crazy. Listen, so again, I guess we closing out. So again.
Yeah. Yo, y'all can come in if you want. Anybody? Asking some questions.
Okay.
The link is in the chat, y'all. Oh, we're gonna give y'all like 5 minutes and then we out of here.
No, I want to close out.
Inky, is evolution debunked? Keon is asking you, is evolution debunked, Inky?
No. Let Keon hit the link. Let Keon hit the link. Come on, they want to ask a question. Let them come up on the panel.
Yeah, don't be scared. Y'all come up in here.
Because after they disagree, then you know they got to agree. See, this is how we invented the Adjustment Bureau, Si. So I was looking for you to be in part. You should have been playing all the Adjustment Bureau sound effects after each person got adjusted yesterday. Every single person that came up on the panel got adjusted. Every single person you presented.
Hey, Inky.
Yes, sir.
Peace, family. I want to ask you, when we say atum re in ancient Kemet, atum, is it like an atom, and ray is like the electrical current of that atom, like an atom's ray, atom ray?
I would definitely say, I wouldn't necessarily, oh boy, Si, you got to stop that. I wouldn't say necessarily exactly what you said verbatim, but I would absolutely agree that Atum, Re, all of the gods and the goddesses in Kemet were anthropomorphized forces of the universe or forces of nature. So absolutely, you have the even the Trinity comes out of that original concept, because you have Pepper, Atum, and Re, all three representing the sun, but different aspects. I would definitely agree that the natural forces or energies that we talk about today, they were talking about in Kemet. They just used the concept of storytelling in order to teach. So in line with using storytelling to teach, they anthropomorphized the different forces and fundamental aspects of nature as they saw it, so that they could be able to communicate the information more easily and create the original entendres and metaphors that we use today, like in rap or poetry. They were using that back then, where you would say one thing, but it would speak on multiple levels. Which is why the Rothschilds invested so much money into creating what's called biosemiotics. That was started by the Rothschild family specifically to try to decode the scientific information that was in the Kemetic glyphs and the Kemetic science.
Okay, and final question to you would be, is it a fusion of heaven and earth in the name of, in Kemet, Pet being heaven, Ta being earth, in the god Ptah?
I would definitely say I would definitely say so.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to figure that one out. Okay.
Because it goes even further. We got to remember Ptah is considered like the original deity of what we would consider to be Masons today. So when we start with stoneworking and brickworking, Ptah would be the main archetype of what that is. So one of the questions I wanted to ask Jabari and Unc, but you see, I got them scared running like roaches with the lights on, actually has a lot to do with that. But I won't say it right now to give them a head start working on the answer. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, we on the same page right now. We on the same page right now, brother.
All right. Peace to the family. Let Keon go, Sa.
Yo, what's good? So I appreciate it.
Hold up. Inky, you really driving outside of your lane when you're talking about Kemet, brother.
You know what's crazy?
You better stop this, man. Because you're going to wake up Shaka Utmost. You're going to wake up a lot of people, bro. You better stop.
All right, listen. Let me explain something to you, Sa. Let me
explain. Hold on, man. Quitting while you ahead is not the same as just quitting, brother. And I hope you get that. Quitting while you ahead is not the same as just quitting. Go ahead, and then I'm gonna let Keon go in, man.
Let me ask you. Oh, don't do go ahead and then we go to Keon. No. I'm gonna go ahead and we're going back to you, buddy. See, you don't get to throw a rock and hide your hand. We're dealing with you, sir.
This is New York at its finest. Go ahead.
Man, come on. Stop be acting like, you know what I'm saying? Listen. So, what's the reason why Terrence Crawford's victory over Canelo is so important? Can you explain that to us, in your opinion? Why is Terrence Crawford's victory over Canelo so important?
Tell us why. Because whatever
I want to get your opinion.
You're going to have a different opinion. So tell us.
And that's how, so what? But that's what we're talking for.
One of the things is because he had to prove to him that he can move up in weight. That he can move up in weight and still have power to do it, to defeat him.
And to take his punch.
Just like Floyd Mayweather did. And I think he did something that you would never see nobody else do. He gave him back his belts, man. He kept the ring, and he kept the most important belt, but he gave him back all the other belts that really didn't mean nothing to him.
No, that's not what happened, son. Let me explain.
Yes, that is
wait. All right, so let me explain what I'm saying and why I asked you that question.
Go ahead.
So the reason why I asked you that question is because since I have known you, every time I'm having a conversation with some other person, whatever that other person's thing is, you say, I'm out of my lane. And so like Terrence Crawford had to prove himself in one weight class. Then he had to go to the next weight class. And when he gets to the next weight class, they say, oh, brother, you might be out your lane because, these guys here, they punch harder and stronger, Terrence, you might be out of your lane. And then what he do? He go in that weight class and dominate. Then he go to the next weight class and he said, hold on, Terrence. Hold on, Terrence. You done did good in that one, but now you going away. You need to quit while you ahead, Terrence, because you done went to 2-3 weight classes, Terrence. You might need to stop this, And then what happened? He get the belts again, and then he get the belts again, and then he get the belts again. Sa, you have to stop
I like that. That's good.
Now, let me explain the belts thing. Those belts actually didn't belong to Terrence Crawford. When you win a championship title in boxing, the title is separate from the belts. The guy who loses only lets you borrow the belts temporarily so you could take your pictures and stuff in the ring when you become the champion. But every single fighter gives back the belts. That's how when fighters get older and they do interviews, they can show you in their house all of the different belts they won because
incorrect, Inky. Okay. The belt was Terrence Crawford, brother.
Okay, I'll let you listen. I'll let you wrestle with the chat then, because the chat gonna get you once again. The chat gonna get you once again.
Crawford said it. He said it wasn't. He wanted to deliver back his belt because he's gonna get his own personally made. But
he won those belts.
He won the title. He won the title.
No, stop, y'all. He won.
I talked about the interview.
So listen, hold on, Sa. This is an example of you being out of your lane.
All right, stop.
I have a few years. Wait. I have a.
So did Floyd Mayweather give all of those belts back that he won? No.
Yes.
Because when you see him walking in, he carried the belts.
Stop. Listen to what I'm saying.
Let me make my point. When Canelo came in, Canelo was coming in carrying all his belts, bro, that he took from people. What the hell is you talking about?
All right, let me explain it to you again, Sa. Let me explain it to you again, Sa. Listen. It's not okay. Listen, the belts represent the title of the active champion.
Exactly.
So when you win the title, that's why they call the heavyweight champ or any type of championship, they call
All
it.
All right. The majority of the people saying I'm wrong, so I got to go with the people.
Hey, you a bad man, Inky. You
And you gonna be strong and wrong at the same time. Strong and wrong, really.
I'm wrong. They said I'm wrong. I got to go with that.
Strong and wrong.
All right, we got Keon in the building. Keon, you want to ask Inky a question?
Unmute yourself, Keon.
Oh yeah, my fault. I was muted. So Inky, you don't believe the actual theory of evolution itself is debunked, right?
All right, so just for clarity, right? Because one of the things that Enql and his organizations and his followers and students do is they are very confused on the theory of evolution versus Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. They believe that those things are one and the same. So they don't understand how Charles Darwin's theory of evolution can be debunked while the theory of evolution is still actual science. So when you hear Enql talk, you will hear Enql say things like, yeah, and we got genetics and blah, blah, blah to prove it. In the video yesterday, he was like, now, how do y'all think modern medicine works? Because as the COVID virus was evolving, the scientists were able to study the evolving virus and change the medicine and blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying to myself the whole time, like, viruses was not even discovered in Charles Darwin's lifetime. Viruses has nothing to do with Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Genetics has nothing to do with Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. So when we talk about genetics, when we talk about DNA, when we talk about viruses, when we talk about DNA, when we talk about RNA, all of those things came and replaced, like not just Charles Darwin, but all of the scientists before Darwin that also made the same type of mistakes, which is a part of science. You observe something and you come up with a hypothesis. You do experiments to see if it's correct. If it's not correct, you go back to the drawing board. Now, if when you go back to the drawing board,
Inky, just technically you answered my question. Okay, so you do believe in the theory of evolution, just
the science of evolution. Let's say the science of evolution.
Wait a minute. I'm talking.
Yeah.
But you distinguish the difference. You distinguish the differences between, I guess, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and then today's theory of evolution. That's what you're saying.
I would just say science of evolution now, but go ahead.
I mean, it's a yes. So am I correct, right? You're distinguishing the difference between, I guess, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and modern day theory of evolution, right?
Correct.
Okay. So my question isn't that kind of obvious? Because again, Charles Darwin's theory of evolution was back in the 1800s, and we're in 2025 right now. So, I mean,
Keon, listen, Keon, listen to what I'm telling you. Now, please listen to what I'm telling you and try to feel this with the utmost level of sincerity, brother. In my mind, in my universe, in my life, I absolutely wholeheartedly believe that was super obvious to anybody that has ever read up on the subject. But that was not obvious and is not obvious to Enql and his followers, hence the fact that we had to have this conversation for the better part of 10 years. And in all of that time, he has never even for one time looked at the actual mechanism that Darwin proposed as the transfer from parent to offspring regarding information. So for me, absolutely, I agree that should be super obvious, which is the reason why all this time I have been cool under pressure telling Sa, you could bring 10 guys, you could bring 100 guys, you could bring 1,000 guys. There is no way around this. This is a grand opening, grand closing. So I totally believe that this should be super, like this should be when you first begin the study of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. You're supposed to see, oh, Pangenesis, Francis Galton, debunked. Then you're supposed to go right from there immediately to Mendel and the further development through Germany, through the German scientists and then later American scientists of, genes, chromosomes, DNA to get to where we are right now. So I absolutely believe that that was supposed to be surface level information. But as you can see how passionately people argue against it, that it is not.
All right, we're going to go to the last question right here. Elder Suntan, what up?
Peace, everybody. Peace to the panel. Peace, Brother Enql. I got two things to ask you. First one is real quick. What deity do you subscribe to? Or do you believe in God?
I absolutely believe in God. I have my own religion.
Okay. All right. And the second
what God is that?
The Most High.
Which one is that?
The most talented.
Where's it at? Where is it?
It's in his mind.
Throughout the
good answer, Suntan.
No, I hold on. I don't disagree with what he just said. He is in my mind. That's a fact. That is a fact.
All right. Is it a he or a she? Or is it it, supreme it?
Hold on. Go ahead, Suntan. Finish up.
This is sort of a nuanced question because I understand, Unc's argument, but I don't roll with him thoroughly. However, like I said, this is a nuanced question. He can stick to his premise because it's the same, it's in the same category as science and which the white man brought it. See, that's how people looking at it. Well, we don't like Darwin because he's been a bigot and
cam up, Mac Rob, cam up.
So my thing is this, Brother Enql. I think that Darwin, I kind of agree with you. I do, because he was on track, but at the same time, they took his narrative and they.
What's the question, brother?
Huh?
What's the question?
My question is, you also believe that Darwin was a trendsetter as far as the science of this subject matter. Do you believe that, or you just throw him out the window with the rest of the baby water?
No, I don't believe Darwin was a trendsetter at all.
Okay.
In science, because if you study the material, you would see that there was a bunch of scientists that was already doing this before Darwin, and most of Darwin's information he stole from somebody else.
So they just picked him to run with, right?
That happens a lot in science, you know what I'm saying? But if you look up the scientist called Lamarck, right? If you look up Lamarck, Charles, if you look up Lamarck, right? And you look up Charles Darwin, like if you put their names in the search at the same time, you'll see some things say that, like they'll speak softly on it. They'll say Charles Darwin borrowed most of his material from Lamarck. Or you'll have other articles or books about it that says Darwin directly took, Darwin plagiarized. Like, so the one thing that's in agreement is that Darwin's not original in any shape, form, or fashion with this information. That's another problem that I've noticed with Enql and the people that follow Enql. They believe that Charles Darwin somehow originated this concept of evolution, which is absolutely
my point. Yeah.
Absolutely madness. That's why I had to ask him, do you understand that other scientists was already working on this way before Darwin came along? And Darwin did most of his work studying bones, which is the reason why I asked Enql, A, did he believe in dinosaurs? And then B, what did Charles Darwin say about the dinosaur bones? Right.
Well, let me say this to you, Enql, and I'm gone. I like your scholarship. Keep it up. And you don't have to argue with nobody. And I want to ask this last question to side. Don't you kind of side with Enql?
Suntan, you asking sa.neter to go against his
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Hell yeah, I agree with a lot of stuff Enql say.
I know, but
I agree with a lot of stuff Enql say. That's no cap. That's real.
Okay, that's all.
Just I agree with a lot of shit that a lot of people come up here and say. You know, it's not. I mean, what I look like saying I don't agree with Enql. I agree with a lot of stuff he say.
He just thought you wouldn't agree with it.
Yeah, I just threw it up because that's just was fun. That's all.
Yeah,
but yeah,
right.
but I want to say this. I'm not talking to you, Suntan, and of course I'm not talking to a SA7 when I say this. But starting next week, anybody want to come on the platform and cam up and all of that? Y'all gonna at least show me that y'all donate and support the channel. In order for y'all to come up here and interact with the scholars, y'all gonna have to come up here, show me that y'all can Cash App and donate to the channel. So that sometimes, you know, Minister Enql might say, you know what, I'll take this debate. I'll charge you this, I'll charge you that, or whatever. Who knows? We want to get it back, you know? But y'all gonna have to start supporting the channel one way or another. Because I've been letting a lot of freebies go, man. A lot of people come up and I give y'all that support and I give y'all that love. And next thing you know, I'm making you famous and y'all ain't giving me a dime. So anyway, let me get it, Mac Rob. Mac Rob, you on the call, brother.
Hey, good evening, everybody. So I appreciate you. Peace to Suntan and peace to Brother Enql. So I think I owe you a chess game, man. When I see you in person, I got to catch you up there, man.
Yo, do you have chess.com?
I absolutely do.
What's your rating?
I got as high as 23.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
I don't believe that, bro. I don't believe that, bro.
You can look me up.
What's your name?
Fireman. F-Y-E-R-M-A-N. Fireman. And put your name in the chat and I'll find you on there and I'll send you a friend.
Man, I don't believe that. You ain't got no goddamn. You ain't up to no damn 20, bro. Hell no.
I just do what I do. I'm
only an 1800 player, man.
So you're right at the advanced, close to the expert level.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But that's not my FIDE. My FIDE is about 13, 14. But let's get to the matter. So look, first I want to preface this by saying I'm not an expert, and I just had a series of questions, if that's okay, Brother Enql.
Go ahead.
Fire away.
All right. So I heard you mention that you believed in the science of evolution, but not in Charles Darwin's evolution. Was that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So how would you define, like, the science of evolution? Could you define what that means?
The science of evolution is basically the scientific version of calculus. It's the study of how living organisms change over time.
Okay. And how would what is the process? Like, what sparks that to happen? What is the explanation of how that happens, if you don't mind?
There's a wide variety of things that can You let me answer, champ, or you all right?
No, I'm just saying, just give me one, just so you don't have to go into a long diatribe, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, I would say your environment.
Do you mind? Could you go in depth, if you don't mind? When you say
okay, now hold on, champ. Hold on. So when I'm explaining and it look like I'm going in depth, you're gonna stop me and say, just give you one real quick. Then I give you one real quick, and you say, can you go in depth? What we doing, man? Yo, this is crazy. So listen. What is the point that you're trying to bring forward, brother? Because you already done danced me in a circle. So what is the point that you're trying to present?
I'm not asking to be I'm not asking to be contentious. I'm trying to get your explanation of how the environment would change the organism, if you don't mind.
How an environment would change an organism? Because as environments change, the expression of your genetic material has to change in order for you to better survive in that environment.
All right, he freezing up here outside.
Hey, brother Enql.
Nah, hold on, brother. Hold on. We got people that ain't speak yet, brother.
Yeah. I'm just asking. So how would you describe Charles Darwin's theory of evolution? What is your understanding of the definition of that?
Brother, did you watch this video today and yesterday? Or did you just jump in? Did you just jump in like the last?
I didn't watch the entire videos, no.
Okay. All right. So scientists for a very long time have noticed how living organisms change over time, right? Which became the study became the study of evolution, right? The study of evolution. Many different scientists had their own version that they proposed to that, right? So the observation is organisms changing over time, right? Some surviving, some developing traits or expressing traits that are more favorable in the environment, some not expressing traits. So a part of the understanding is why some species survive and why some don't, right? So like Jabari tried to twist what I was saying because Jabari didn't have the entire context. Me and Unk's conversation started with apes and monkeys. So when Jabari tries to run this whole racism narrative and go, yeah, but they were talking about animals and plants. I'm like, yeah, but if you knew about me and Unk's situation, you would know that we were also talking about animals. So, but anyway, so it also had to do with species going extinct and species continuing to survive. So this is another reason why I asked Unk about how Charles Darwin addressed dinosaurs, right? So different scientists had their own theories to answer the question created via their observation. So you had Lamarck's theory of evolution, right? And various other scientists, right? And so when they put those theories to test and they failed the experimentation phase, that knocked those theories out. The only reason why Charles Darwin's name is still echoed is because he was the last one to get it wrong before we start getting it right. So Charles Darwin actually represents a long line of scientists that got it wrong before moving on to Gregor Mendel's work, where Gregor Mendel, he still didn't have genes, DNA, etc., but he had a correct mechanism for information transfer from parent to offspring. So that's why Mendel is credited with being, you know, the first sort of accurate scientist to replace the false theory that Darwin put forward. Hopefully that helps with your question.
Interesting.
Okay, so I guess just to make sure I was clear. So it sounds like you were saying that Darwin was the last in his time to get it incorrect.
Correct.
But because he was last, the scientific community continued to push his theory forward, and that Greg Mendel came.
His name.
Okay,
Yeah, his
and
name.
Greg Mendel came in and changed. Is that right? So Greg Mendel's information, you're saying, further.
All right, brother, I got to move on because I got to get up out of here. I want to give Seven Asar a chance to ask a question. I got to go. Asar, come on, man. What's up?
Wait, Asar. Before you, we don't have to go back to the brother, but I just want to clarify something for the brother.
It's getting late, Inky. I got to eat.
I got you, but I got to clarify this because they'll try to run with this. I got to make sure I clarify this. In no shape, form, or fashion am I saying that Gregor Mendel's work furthered Charles Darwin's work. Replace is not furthered. Replace means you thought of something and I thought of something. Yours was incorrect, mine's was correct. So yours was debunked and mine's was not. Like that.
All right. There you go. Point made. Go ahead. Seven Asar, I got to get out of here. Seven Asar, calling you.
So you are going to just let me ask.
Can you hear me, Sal?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, Si. Where I go?
Go ahead. Let him speak real quick.
No,
I'll let
sir.
him speak
No,
quick. Go
sir.
ahead,
I
ask your
gotta
question.
go. Yo, I got to go, brother. You got to get it in, sir. I got to go.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think that what Inky, who did a good job today, what he's failing to understand is that when I learned about Darwinism, they never said that the theory that we have in modern day was a theory that that Charles Darwin that he got wrong, but the natural selection he did get right, and that was the foundation for a lot of what we know and understand in modern day evolution today. So they use his name, like you said, but they don't use the theory. And I think that Jabari, and that's what Jabari and Enql was trying to outline, is that pangenesis is not the theory of evolution. And Charles Darwin's theory is not just pangenesis. Pangenesis is part of it, but it's a part of it, not the whole thing. So I think that the conflation of that is what they saw. I don't believe that Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is over the modern version, right? And we're not taught like that in school. So I think that there's the misinterpretation of that, and that's all I have to say. Peace.
All right, thank y'all, man.
Sa, can I just say that one thing? You said I could to Inky. It's the theory of evolution by natural selection. Charles Darwin, Inky, and Alfred Russel Wallace independently conceived the theory that is the foundation of modern evolution biology. So why are we talking about Darwinism and all this conversation all these days? Nobody talked about Wallaceism.
Come on now, bring it out. Listen. Now listen, it's not my job. Listen, it's not my job to do that. See, what I'm doing is I'm not only am I teaching, but at the same time, I'm showing Sa, right? Because my frustration don't be with these guys, because I've been arguing with them for 10 years or better. My frustration be with Sa, because Sa would tell me, Inky, you out of your lane. And then when he tells me I'm out of my lane, he will finish by telling me whose lane it is. And so what I'm saying is, when you say this is Unc lane, Unc is not only supposed to know Charles Darwin's work.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Look at the bias. See, Sa, you scared now. See, when you tell us that this is Unc's lane, Unc is supposed to know where all this information come from. That's like me talking about health and somebody be like, well, how come you talking about Dr. Sabi and you don't never mention Dr. Africa? And then I'll be like, well, who's Dr. Africa? Somebody gonna be like, well, clearly you don't know about Black holistic science if you don't know who's Dr. So it's not my job. I'm just highlighting, showing them like, hey, you do know that there's other scientists. I keep saying you do know there's other scientists.
So can I get a closing statement in?
Now I got to go, y'all. And with that, Inky, you could close everybody out. Close us out, man. Thank everybody for coming in. Next time y'all come in, bring $5. $5 will get you to stay in for at least an hour. $10 at least get you to stay in for an hour and a half. And $20 to get you to stay in all night until the program ends. That's how we're gonna run this shit from now on. Cause y'all gonna show some love and support the channel, man. For real. So Inky, go ahead, close us out, man.
You should close us out with the Adjustment Bureau theme. I mean, everybody getting adjusted. I mean, we started off with an army of naysayers, and slowly but surely, everybody is. I mean, I didn't even had Unc. I disagree with Jabari on that. And you're right, Inky. You did a great job of explaining this yesterday. So I mean, what left? What is there left for me?
You know, Shaka was calling me. I ain't pick up the phone.
Oh, okay. You know what?
I already know why he was calling me. I tried to tell you, bro.
No. I'll close out on that. Let me say that because that is an important thing that I want to address, right? When you mention Kemet, Sa, here's a problem that you have. Again, I'm only talking about you, not the scholars, right? Here's a problem that you have. You make it seem like Kemet was a very small place in terms of information, right? So you will have these brothers right, that maybe they study the metal nature and they come on your page and they show people that they know how to translate the metal nature. And then you will, because they show that they know how to translate metal nature, you will announce this person as an expert of Kemet and all that Kemet represents.
Stop.
Hold on.
No. I gotta address everything.
Okay.
Brother, see what you don't know about me, brother. I gotta let you know now. And people probably didn't know this either.
Good.
But I stand with Professor Walter Williams. I don't believe that the metal nature have been deciphered.
Okay.
I said it.
All right. That's cool, but that's not really addressing my point. Hold on. That's not really addressing my point.
I know Smash Rockwell. I know all of them. Unc and all of them gonna say this, but I'm telling you, Professor Walter Williams said it best. If your ancestors, Enql, did something 5,000 years ago and wrote on the wall 5,000 years ago, and none of them are here to tell you what they wrote, but you got people coming in, so-called scholars, telling you what that mean and what that did. Brother, you can't tell me what my grandfather was talking to us about. You know? So that's my point. I stand with Walter Williams on that.
Okay, hold on.
I know I'm gonna have all these people coming at me.
Hey, hold on, because I want to make this point though, and I don't want people to get their attention redirected. I disagree with you on that. I do. Hold on. Let me say this. I think the metal nature has been translated to a good degree on a surface level. So yes, there is a lot more information to get out of the metal nature, but I think that to a good degree, people have been able to get accurate information out of the metal nature.
Look at that. I knew Unc was going to come back in when he heard me say that.
Hold on. Don't look, man. See, look how I'm getting cut off and redirected.
Hey, yo, hold on for a minute. Now, this is my show, right?
Okay.
Enql, now you straight outright lying. You got nothing correct, and you never brought that source. Big up to Malcolm the pseudo killer was on here, so that you cut my man off in the middle of breaking Enql crazy.
That's only because his phone was messed up, huh? You ain't see it?
Okay.
Now, if this shit was running smooth, he could have came in and went in.
Yeah, but you told him he was in the middle of talking. You said, yo, you gotta move on.
Because his phone was messed up, brother. It was chopped up.
Let me make this point. Enql, you being disingenuous.
Okay.
You have not showed the source to prove that Pangenesis had anything to do with breaking down the theory of evolution. The question is why, and then you try to separate Charles Darwin from evolution. I told you he's the father of evolution. His theory is the quote unquote foundation of evolutionary biology, which unifies everything in nature. So I'm just trying to tell how is a man's theory not a theory that actually unifies biology? It's crazy. Physics attempts to unify the cosmos. So chemically we are attached to the cosmos, but biologically we are attached to the earth. And it was Charles Darwin's theory that unified all that shit. How the hell is you getting up there doing that? Where is the source though, Enql? Where is the source, bro, that proves that Pangenesis debunked his own? So you basically trying to say that his own work debunked his work? Man, that's crazy and bananas. Look, sa.neter, I appreciate you, bro. Don't let that man get away with that.
Let me ask you a question. Don't run.
See, it's the pseudo questionnaire.
Don't run.
Out of here, I gotta go. Right, I gotta finish getting this money. Right, hey, bro, you got beat up today. Understand?
I hear you.
And
all right. Yo, Enql, come on, man. Just close out, brother. That's it.
Hold on, son.
I gotta get my dinner, man, because it's getting late, man.
I got you. Look, can you hit the share screen real quick?
Oh, bro, I'm already late with this.
Just please hit the share screen. Now look at this. You see what this says? Lamarck's theory of evolution. Now, Unc just told us that Charles Darwin was the father of the theory of evolution. So if Charles Darwin is the father of the theory of evolution, then that means the theory of evolution starts with Charles Darwin. That's ether right there. Listen, that's ether. That's easy work. That's light work. But now let me go back to what I was saying about Kemet. There is a lot of diverse sciences and streams of wisdom in Kemet. So I give Shaka Atmos, for instance, a lot of credit for being maybe even the foremost authority in the community on the economic, political, socio, that entire aspect of Kemet. I give some of the brothers doing the metal nature props for doing what they're doing. But I don't claim to be experts in those aspects of Kemet. When I speak about Kemet, I speak to the medical papyri. I speak to the sciences. I speak to the geometry, the math. I speak to all of the things that Kemet was great at that nobody touches on. So that's the only thing that I want to say to you, Sai, is that there's plenty of room for scholars to be great at Kemetic study and not step on each other's toes, because they're actually studying completely different areas of science. Because just like in America, you can go to school and you can learn science, technology, math, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of different things you can study and be degreed or scholarly at. We have to remember Kemet had a wide variety.
On my thing, yo. You gonna let them talk us to death, yo?
All right, and with that, hey, everybody,
hold on.
I'm out of here.
Yo, shout the season, man.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all. Thank everybody for coming in. Peace, Unc. Love you, man. Thank you, brother. I'm out of here, y'all. I got to go get my dinner, man. I'm already late. I don't usually be eating this damn late, but I got stuck here doing this with y'all, man. So peace and blessings to everybody. I'm out. I'm going to watch that movie that H. Millett talked about. And I'm out of here. Look at this. Look at this. Unc calling me up. Look at this. Look at this, man. Yo, Unc, I'm out of here, brother. What's up, man?
I said, when they say you the father of medicine, doesn't mean it wasn't medicine prior to you. When they say you the father of evolution, doesn't mean you was the first. Y'all can look it up. What it means is you have did something special. So Charles Darwin identified the actual mechanism in evolution prior to him. Although people was before him, they never identified the mechanism. What's the mechanism? Natural selection. Simple as that. Appreciate y'all, man.
All right, thank you, brother Unc. Thank you, Unc.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.